My boyfriend's professor is way too friendly, and now I'm seriously suspicious.
Maybe he's just got really good grades, man.
Let's see. So OP says, do I, 28 female, need to worry about my boyfriend's friendship with his professor, 25 female? My boyfriend, 24 male, became friends with his former professor, 25 female, sometime last year. I, 28 female, interesting, don't know what to make of it.
I think you should be suspicious.
They seem to be friendly, and they talk consistently every week. And from what he tells me, it's usually very surface level. By the way, this comes from Cute Classic 2954. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So sometime last year, after the course ended, my boyfriend, his professor, and some of his male classmates went somewhere to eat together.
Okay, yeah, totally. People do that all the time.
People get meals with their professors after.
People do that all the time. Meals with their professors who are only 1 year older than them and also a woman.
Okay,
and they're a guy.
I would say it's completely normal. Like, I had a street art professor in Australia, and we would go and like hang out after class. And he was one of those cool young professors. Sure, but there was like women there as well.
Yeah, but were you like?
I mean, he was a piece of meat. Don't get me wrong, but
were you like?
I think.
Were you down?
I would love to know from chat. I know it can seem a little sus, but Dakota's more on the side of already sus. I'm like, not sus yet. Not sus yet.
It's just also that comment of like, he tells me that when they talk, it's pretty surface level. It's like, yeah, your boyfriend's not going to be like, I'm falling in love with this other woman while I'm dating you.
Yet.
Like,
well, my boyfriend brought up that he was going to be attending an event, a plastic modeling show, and his professor showed interest and invited herself to the event and asked if she could stay at his Airbnb with his friends. My boyfriend and his friends were all okay with it. I unfortunately couldn't attend the event, but from what my boyfriend told me, he and a few of his friends met up at the Airbnb. That same day, his professor came to my boyfriend's Airbnb and tagged a few of her girlfriends along. I believe they all stayed in the same place. Sus or not? Sus or not?
Okay. Study session. Study session.
Study session. It's a big study session. Kim Fine says it's normal if y'all want to smash. Slidey Toe says it's sus because they're so close in age. I feel like when you're closer age to your professors, you should be even more business only.
yeah, there really does need to be like the separation of church and state here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, they're about that. Business. Big business.
The D business. The business of giving Ds.
they got a D in business.
Well, the next day, they went to the event, went to the bar afterwards, and got drinks. A lot of them, except my boyfriend, got pretty wasted, and my boyfriend took the liberty of being the designated driver for his professor and her friends. His professor won some model kit from the event, even in her wasted state, and asked my boyfriend if he could stay up with her to work on the kit.
Yeah, so plastic modeling convention is definitely like it's like mini figures, like little figurines that you
cute.
put together. And
I
if
thought
they're
it was
both
like
into
a
that,
model with plastic surgery.
just plastic.
The plastics are modeling again.
3D printed model, like yeah, she wants him.
Yep.
She wants him so bad.
Yep. This was planned.
I would just like to say that I've had a couple dates where I'm like, oh, let's build some Legos together.
That this is different.
The Legos were never built. I actually still have the base of the Statue of Liberty from that date that was never built.
Dang.
I feel like I should probably dismantle it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna dismantle it.
I don't know, or build it up. It's
Yeah,
so long. It's such a
I
big.
think you gotta.
I don't know why we
undo
even
it.
thought we could manage finishing the Statue of Liberty.
See,
It's
I
a
was
big-
opposite. I got
big
2
thing.
Lego sets and built both of them and didn't realize, oh, maybe this wasn't the vibe.
Yeah,
She
maybe.
stopped building on the second one. She was like, okay.
Riley's just.
Yeah, exactly.
And she's on the bed.
Yeah.
Riley, come over.
It's been 3 hours, Riley.
I know.
Riley's like, I'm pricked up right now. You don't understand. Well, from what my boyfriend tells me, nothing else happened that night. They just erected a model. After the event, everyone from that group created a group chat, and they continued to plan and talk about future events together. Since then, my boyfriend and his friends have met up with his professor and got to meet his professor's fiancée at an anime convention. Does the fiancé change anything?
No. Oh, wait. I'm sorry. I forgot. Once you are engaged, there's no way you can cheat on anybody. That's
true.
my bad.
It's
I forgot
true.
about that.
Never, ever happened. Well, and it sounded like they all got along well. Also, where's your girlfriend in all this? Why isn't she getting
Like,
invites to
busy,
any of
I
this?
think.
Is she busy?
She
She's
was
busy all
She
the
had
time?
an invite. I think she was just busy.
His professor continues to express interest in other events, and it sounds like she may be attending another event with my boyfriend and his friends in the future. I trust my boyfriend. I don't know. The Reddit post doesn't scream trust, and don't think he is hiding anything from me.
I kind of disagree.
What you don't?
I think this is more about trying to suss out the intentions of,
Of the
The
professor?
professor, yeah.
rather than her being like, I don't trust my
Oh.
boyfriend.
Oh,
Like,
that could be
really,
true.
I do, because I don't think there's any way you let this happen if you don't trust your boyfriend.
Because if you didn't trust the boyfriend, we probably would have got a mention of he's not showing me his text. Da 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 da. Everything seems pretty transparent on his end.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's probably just like do I really need to step in here and be like, you can't hang out with her because she wants you desperately?
But isn't that like, yeah, I can see what you're saying. Let me know if you guys think that OP trusts
I just
their
haven't
boyfriend.
Smell anything yet of non-trusting.
Of the boyfriend?
Yeah, yeah. Have you?
I mean, I feel like getting into these situations that are making OP uncomfortable
Okay.
could, like, I feel like it's just, I feel like there hasn't been, like, OP is obviously uncomfortable.
There's a lot of other people here.
Yes.
It's not just him
It
and
is
the
true.
professor. That
But
would
was
be a
it
different
just
story.
him and the professor and the model late at night?
Did
the
they
three
build
of them
it
together?
Wait, did they build
They
that
built
together?
it together.
Well, as we all know, it's a good sign that they built the model, because if the model was
That's
unfinished,
true. Yeah.
that would be more
that
of a
would
sign.
be a red flag.
Yeah.
So I trust my boyfriend and don't think he is hiding anything from me. Honestly speaking, I think it's hard for me to understand their friendship as she is his professor. I've had a conversation with him on this, and he's let me know that I have nothing to worry about. I would like to hear others' opinions and see what y'all think of this friendship. Is this something I need to be concerned about, or is it really nothing? And if you're new here, there are multiple parts to this story, so make sure to follow us on the iHeartRadio app or Apple Podcasts. Okay, we got more to this story. Last we left off. Okay, so edit. The professor was my boyfriend's former professor. She is classified as an adjunct faculty and works as an accountant as her full-time job, which explains why she is a young professor. My boyfriend has not graduated college yet and is still a student at his university. And some relevant comments. You should go to one of the events with him. I do struggle with social anxiety, so it makes me uncomfortable to be sharing a space with a lot of people. I am hoping to go to the next event, though, since it's local. Her relationships with the students is grossly unprofessional. I'm totally with you. I am also quite confused of her choice of friends. I'm not sure why, of all places, that she chooses to share an Airbnb with her former student and to be wasted with them. She is classified as an adjunct faculty, so she is a professor, but is part-time. She works full-time as an accountant. The whole situation feels weird to me.
Well, I mean, I feel like you just explained exactly why she's doing that right there. She's adjunct faculty. She's not a full-time professor. It's like something she's like doing is done on the side.
Yeah.
She's 25. Like,
I think it's fine for I think
makes
it's
sense.
fine for a 25, 24-year-old to hang out with other 24-year-olds.
I think though, if she was like a full-time professor and it was like her whole deal, like that's like she's
And it's
looking
not
for that tenure, that would be wildly inappropriate.
and
to go.
it would be inappropriate if they were still like in that like student-teacher relationship.
right.
But it
Yeah.
seems like no longer, Miss Kitty Cat says, if she were no longer his teacher and doesn't have any influence on his grades, I feel like it would be a lot different. I think she doesn't. I think
I think that's the case.
I think that's the
right now.
case.
Yeah.
But commenter says, you say his professor, but what is their specific academic connection? She taught him once years ago and now they're roughly equals and friends? Or is she his primary support for a PhD or what? OP, the first option. She taught him last year and now they are friends. He is no longer on a course with her. I totally understand how it's possible for students and their professors to be friendly, but I've never heard or seen of a friendship where you consistently talk and hang out together so casually. So she no longer is his professor. They are two adults of the same age and power level. Kind of gives me the same vibes like if a student graduated high school and is friends with their young teacher. Obviously, not the same thing, but a
No.
student-teacher relationship is there. I think as a teacher, you should still uphold that level of professionalism and mentorship, even if you are no longer the student's teacher. I also want to note that they are technically not equals since they're both in relationships. She can't be acting however she wants with former students.
I disagree with that parallel to high school, because that would be, you're talking about the equivalent of like a senior in high school teaching a junior in high school, and then like they move on, and it's like it's not ever gonna happen. That's not how that works. So
Maybe it's
it's
more
just-
like a freshman in college, like being a teaching aide for a class of seniors in high school,
I don't even.
and then being friends with them after they graduate high school, which I think would be normal. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong here. I'm often wrong.
My head's going more to like a work context. It's like maybe like your boss, or it's like someone who used to be your boss, and you worked together and you reported to them. Now you don't maybe work there, but y'all are still hanging out or still whatever.
Yeah.
Y'all are running, share a hobby or share interests, like, and that's also not necessarily wrong. I
don't think there's anything. Miss Kitty Cat says, well, the professor can technically do whatever she wants, but this makes a big difference that she does not have influence over his grade.
Yeah,
Is a
that's
cop?
true. Miss Kitty Cat's a cop.
Let's go.
So that's the law.
That's the law here. Okay, story time law. But that's just part one. We got another part for you.
Oh, boy.
So let's dive in. Okay, so last we left off in part one, OP was suspicious that her boyfriend and his ex-professor were getting a little too close. His professor even showed up at the Airbnb he was staying at, and they hung out way too often for OP's liking. OP says she trusts her boyfriend, but just doesn't understand why he wants to hang out with his professor. Are they cheating or just a little too friendly? We'll find out in part two.
Oh, boy.
So, update 1 month and 1 week later.
Okay. Plenty of time for developments to happen.
Oh, yeah. My boyfriend and I had a more of a heart-to-heart talk regarding his teacher, and he recognizes that it crossed some of my boundaries.
Okay.
Win.
Good.
That's a win. That's a win.
That's how this works. Look at that, open and honest communication.
Hopefully it wasn't the cheating boundary, but
no, that's
yeah. I recognize when I slept with her that it crossed some of your boundaries. Hopefully it's a little less than that. He believes that she may be behaving the way she does because when she hangs out with her fiance's friends, she gets bored with them and may possibly be seeking attention from other people. So maybe she just like clicks with this friend group a little bit more and
Could
is.
be.
Several weeks later, my boyfriend had a conversation with his college instructor regarding their friendship and told her how I didn't feel comfortable with their friendship and how he thinks they should keep communication at a minimum. This is someone else from the college. She brought up how she understands because her fiance also had an issue with how she chose to share an Airbnb with my boyfriend. Oh, wait.
Yeah, no, this.
Oh, this is the
Yeah,
college instructor.
That was no wait. I think this is.
Wait, I'm going to read that again.
This is OP's boyfriend saying like, "Hey, I think we need to reevaluate how we're moving here."
Let me reread this. So, several weeks later, my boyfriend had a conversation with his college instructor, the college professor that in question.
So it is current.
Yes, regarding their friendship. No. His past college instructor. I don't think it's current.
His college instructor regarding their friendship.
I think it's like OP's just kind of calling this ex-professor his college professor, even though it's an ex-college professor. So my boyfriend had a conversation with his college instructor regarding their friendship and told her how I, OP, didn't feel comfortable with their friendship and how he thinks they should keep communication at a minimum. So boyfriend is putting a boundary between his ex-professor and him. She brought up how she understands because her fiance also had an issue with how she chose to share an Airbnb with my boyfriend. So the fiance is unhappy with this whole situation too.
Mm-hmm.
She mentions to my boyfriend that she sees him as a brother, and that's why she feels really comfortable with him, but that she will try to respect my boyfriend's wishes of keeping conversations at a minimum.
Step brother.
I mean,
No one has
Yeah,
ever
is
used the line, he's like a brother to me.
I think this is now, you've made your decision. You said, hey, I had a hard time with my girlfriend. She's not comfy, so that makes me uncomfy. So we're going to have to change things.
It seems like she took it well.
Yeah, I agree. I still think there's like a little wiggle room in here there where she's trying to be like, I mean, yeah, my fiance was upset too, so no big deal. Like, I get it. But it's like, you're my brother.
Like, we have
you're
so
a brother
much
to me.
in common, like that are like both our significant others are.
Yeah.
We should like talk about it.
Crazy how
Over
people
a
would
model.
like misunderstand that because like no one gets us.
No one gets it. Just
Yeah.
we get each other though. We get each other.
I'm not buying it though.
What?
Don't worry about him. He's like a brother to me.
Yeah,
that
I know. I
line.
don't buy that at all.
I do
no.
not buy that.
No,
I do not.
Yeah.
I don't think they're boinking.
No,
to be
of
clear.
course. I don't think they've done anything like that. I think,
But I do think that there are things. There's things.
I think she wants to, and he was like not wanting to,
Yeah.
and that's the vibe.
Well, even after the talk, she continues to still message my boyfriend weekly on random life updates. And because she's also part of my boyfriend's chat in Discord, one of his friends invited her to attend another plastic modeling show. It occurred recently, and dinner. Since she accepted the invitations, I chose to attend as well so that I could personally meet her. So, okay.
Nice.
Okay.
Cat fight.
Because I mean, look, like there's situations where it's like this kind of stuff can happen, and if y'all run in the same circles, it's not like you can just like completely cut each other out of like each other's lives.
Yeah.
But you have to move forward with the boundary in place, and
which I think I think they can still hang out in the same circles and and have the boundary.
You can be on opposite sides of a room with someone.
But I think it's going to be really telling how the girlfriend and the professor interact.
Yeah.
Like, is the professor going to be cold? I think if the professor's cold, then that's an indicator that the professor was trying to do something.
She's going to be like a cold Jell-O salad, man.
Yeah.
She's going to be
cold Jell-O salad. So the dinner occurred first, and it was very uncomfortable because she practically ignored me the entire night. Woo, woo, woo. Kitty Cat, arrest this woman right now.
Miss Kitty Cat, get her.
Get her.
Get that woman out of here.
Oh, my God.
Yeah,
that's a red flag.
Yeah, it tells you all you need to know right there.
When she joined at the table, she greeted my boyfriend, but didn't say anything to me. Even my boyfriend noticed and got annoyed, but then introduced us. She got increasingly wasted throughout the night and was saying random stuff about my boyfriend to his friends, like he could have been the best student in my class, but it's because he missed some assignments. And boyfriend's name gave me a 5-star review on Rate My Professor. She ended up not going to the show, but my boyfriend had a chat with his guys, and they told him that they want to respect my feelings too and make it a guys' night next time.
Yeah, I think now we move forward with the knowledge that this is not an even dynamic.
It just feels a little red flaggy.
She wants you, bro.
I would like to hear others' opinions and see if you also think she is acting suspicious.
Yes. Of course.
I mean, we had a hypothesis, right? Before we even read that part. If she was going to be cold, that's an indicator that she's in, and she was cold.
As cold as the cold wind blows.
As Jell-O pudding.
Just as cold as some of that gross Jell-O salad with the carrots and the celery in it. Just
what is that?
Gross, solid.
There's with carrots and celery.
Yeah, that's Jell-O salad.
Ugh.
It's bad.
Ugh.
It's a horrific invention of the early 50s. Bad.
Gross.
Yes, red light on Jell-O salad.
But yeah, no, I think it's a little suspicious. So we got some relevant comments. She wants to have spicy sleep with your boyfriend. She's crossing major boundaries. Has he stopped talking with her? I wouldn't be surprised if that is her intention because there's definitely some shady people out there. I agree. She's crossing some professional and personal boundaries. This is what OP is saying. And I think it's quite unusual behavior for any teacher to act like that. Yes, he has stopped communicating with her. She was consistently messaging him until last week. So hopefully she got the memo. And OP comments on the original post saying, clarifying what she meant by not equals. Hey there, I'll try best to clarify and elaborate more on what I'm trying to say. I understand that some may argue that because she's no longer his teacher and also them both being the same age means it's fair game to have this dynamic. But at the end of the day, they're both in relationships and have to consider the personal boundaries that come with that. That is completely true.
No, I would not say it's fair game for them to have this dynamic. I think it's fair game for them to have a dynamic.
Yeah,
but
to have
clearly,
some kind of friendship.
This dynamic involves one of them wanting to cheat on their fiance and hook up with the other. Like,
yeah, a little
and
sus.
I don't think it's her boyfriend. It's just the professor. It really reads as just
that's
the
what
professor.
And maybe like a little bit more of a clueless boyfriend that's like not setting.
I don't even think clueless. It's like he's made steps to do it. Like,
yeah,
they had that heart to heart, and he was like, "I
after...
see you," and then immediately was like, "We got to change this."
But it was only after OP kind of stepped in. So, but I do agree that he's making moves. So their overall dynamic is not fair to her fiance or myself because she is interacting with my boyfriend as if he is single and she is single and not a current student at the institution. There are still personal and professional lines that exist in this friendship, and she's crossed them regardless. I hope that makes sense. And the hobby, questions about the hobby.
It's Warhammer.
It's a niche hobby, and I didn't know much about the world until I met him. For further context, my boyfriend and his friends like to build and paint Gundams. They are similar to Transformers. And we got an editor's note.
The nerd in me is really mad about that last comment because they're nothing like Transformers. Just visually, maybe they both look like robots.
So a few days ago, what?
Oh my God. Yes. Dude, this is wild.
Okay. All right. So a few days ago, a throwaway account reached out to me via DM to share her side of the story.
No way. But you cannot listen.
Oh my God, we're gonna get the professor's side.
You can't trust that.
Okay, story time, Christmas.
Oh Lord. Okay. Let's go. Let's see what she has to say.
I can look at it and I can see all the sub-niche subreddits she follows. I can cross-post this. I can see.
Oh my God. Here is her DM. Hi, Lucia Rose. You made a Best of Reddit update post about a saga related to me. It was a professor trying to befriend my boyfriend one. I ended up finding it basically 2 hours after it was posted. It's quite jarring to find a post about yourself. I showed a mutual friend, Maria, at the time, and we discussed it since she was also part of every major in-person interaction as well. Someone ended up identifying me from the post, and so me and Maria discussed making a follow-up so that anyone who is able to do so in the future can be redirected to my side without us having to rehash it again. Okay, you may view it here. I understand that all her viewpoints are still valid, but I wanted to add context I thought would be relevant to how everything is portrayed. I was offended that she kept characterizing me as wasted and stated I was seeking attention. We've got one part left.
What a cliffhanger.
But yeah, we got one part left.
It's really long.
Okay.
We have read stories where it's like, I'd love to see what she has to say, because a lot of times there's times where someone will reach out to someone and be like, yeah, and like we hooked up and kissed and we love each other, trying to blow up someone's relationship so that they become single and then they become available. Like, I don't know if that's what's going to happen right here. It doesn't sound like that's what's going to happen, which is really intriguing.
I feel like she's trying to underplay everything. You know, I feel like, I mean, she was identified. I wonder is her job at risk?
How did you find that after 2 hours of it being posted?
I mean, she's a Redditor. She's a Redditor.
How do you find that
she's
after
on.
2 hours of being
She's
posted?
a little nerd girl. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I feel like things can go to the top, like to the front page pretty quickly, you know?
I suppose. It's not like she's like stalking her Reddit or anything.
I used to browse Reddit like very frequently, and I remember one of John and I's videos got to the front page.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, and it was like only a couple hours after it was posted, and so I feel like it happens.
I suppose so.
Yeah.
If it was front page post, I suppose so. But I mean, what is she gonna like rationalize here? That it's like, you know, I mean, there shouldn't be anything left to say. That's why I'm so confused. He set this boundary. He's like, we gotta talk less. We got to be more just like,
I think,
chill. Like,
I feel like she's like, no, I didn't get wasted. I wasn't trying to like do anything with your boyfriend. In fact, I don't even like that guy that much. Like, I think she's going to downplay to save her job.
Okay. But a part of me would just be like, if that's how you feel, like you just go, that's not me.
Yeah.
Like, what are you talking about? Like, you go plead the fifth. You go,
Yeah.
what, a random
fake
Reddit story?
Yeah, that's not me.
Oh, that's not me. Oh, but you did that. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I the only person on earth who could have done that?
Yeah, there's like
So
a
that
billion
has to be
people.
me?
There's a billion people on Earth.
Yeah. So what are we
But
talking about?
we got one last part. So this is the professor's side. Why am I, 25 female, always portrayed as wasted? Maria, 25 female, was wasted. Editors note, since there has been some confusion, Maria and Linda are professors' friends. Maria is the one who can corroborate everything. I, 25 female, am the aforementioned professor and the best of Redditor post about me related to post in the subreddit. I decided to post a response after this event was brought up again with a mutual Maria, 25 female. We're both hanging out as I type this.
And I think, okay, maybe the reason she is replying to this like this is because, again, she's not really a professor. Her full-time job is an accountant. So she I don't even know if it's like I might be losing my job. Like, you're not,
Maybe
you're
she's just in it for the
adjunct,
tea.
you know? You're a full-time something else.
She's just in it for the tea. She and I have both hung out with boyfriend Bob in group settings and think there are definitely two sides to the story. My main gripe is being portrayed as a wasted man stealer. Below is the original post I found while browsing day one. Also, someone did find me after reading this post due to how specific it is. I'm responding paragraph by paragraph, so you do not need to read the original post. Feel free to. So, I was his instructor for one class/semester that boyfriend Bob attended. I have no say or sway at the school and have not taught since then. I taught a class related to my profession. I did not get to know Bob personally until after the class was over. On the last day, he expressed that I was a great instructor and gave me a miniature he built as a show of gratitude. I also made miniatures, a different type though, and was intrigued that someone else was into this hobby, and we stayed in touch.
Nah, this guy knew that you did that before he gave you that, right? There's no way.
He
He had to have known.
But yeah, maybe she talked about it in class. But I think it still could have been like, like the apple at the end of a
I'm
class.
immediately suspicious of the way she's framing this because it sounds like, well, he made the first move.
I'm not.
And it's like,
I
bet
don't think
you
I'm
you
as
just talked.
suspicious.
I'm suspicious.
I feel like that move alone. Like I've given nice little things to professors. Not as much as I should. I should give more apples to professors.
Are they apples though?
They're
What are
nice
they?
little things.
Nice-
nice little things.
Is it little? Is it that little?
Nice little things. Yeah. Just little things.
A little appreciation.
A little kiss,
Little
a little kiss on the
appreciation.
cheek.
Later, I invited a few students for a meal, girls and guys, and the boy students were the only ones who RSVP'd yes. Bob did mention an event. I did not invite myself. I said me and my friend Linda were interested and may go too. Later on, Bob invited me to join their group's Airbnb because I was looking at hotels. A previous event trip fell through for mine and Linda's friend group, and I felt bad she couldn't go on a trip in the USA before she had to go back to her home country. This trip was to replace that experience, and Bob invited us to the Airbnb, and Linda and I shared a room with 2 beds. So they had separate beds and everything. What do you think?
I mean, that's fine.
Maria ended up coming on this trip as well, which the group was also okay with, and stayed in the same room with me and Linda. Respectfully, I had 1 cocktail, and then his friend bought everyone a shot. That was the extent of my drinking. I wasn't wasted, Linda wasn't wasted, and no one else in the group ended up being wasted. Maria was, though. Maria underestimated how strong the drinks were, and she was the DD, and we did not have enough time to sober up once she felt the booze hit her. She couldn't drive. I didn't want to drive her dad's car, and Linda doesn't have a U.S. driver's license. Bob offered to drive the car with me, Linda, and Maria back to the Airbnb. The other car was driven back by his friend, who was not wasted and drove sober. At the Airbnb, Bob asked what I would do with the model kit I won. I said I'm not familiar with that type of miniature, so I would sell it on Facebook Marketplace. He said it was actually easy to build. He had built one before, and he could help me build it right then as all their tools for building were still out on the table. I said he didn't have to, but he insisted, and I accepted his help. I was also still not wasted.
And we've already established building the thing is way less sus than not building the whole thing.
I think there was a full model at the end of this encounter.
Yeah, it was like let's appreciate this thing. Oh, you don't think you can do something? I bet you can, because this is cool. And it can be overwhelming to build some of those things. The instructions can be unclear and difficult and tedious.
So far, though, chat is saying she's lying with 7 votes.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't think necessarily she is.
This sounds like exactly what happened, because the boyfriend is like, all right, well, after y'all had a heart-to-heart, all of this comes down to, is the boyfriend to be trusted in this relationship? And everything it is telling me yes.
Yeah.
You know?
I
I
agree.
think if boyfriend picked up the sense that there was some level of infatuation or,
I think as soon as he did, he put that boundary down.
lust coming his way, he'd be like, hey, let's not hang out with her anymore.
Yeah.
That's freaky, right? Why would we want to do that? We want to hang out with the homewrecker who wants to ruin her engagement and also mess with mine. Like, what are we doing?
I agree. But I accepted his help. I was still not wasted. Next to us in the living room, Maria and 2 of the guys were watching Oran High School Host Club and Cowboy Bebop. We all stayed up until 2 a.m. building or watching anime. So it was like everyone was in the room.
Exactly. It's like this
is fine.
This would be so different if it was just the 2 of them.
Yeah, but
that
it
would
was
be
everyone.
unacceptable immediately, because what are you doing?
But for half of the trip, me and the girls split off and did our own thing. We did not stay with the group the entire trip because our intent was to go piggyback a small girls' weekend while also seeing the event. Now, this is back to OP's original post. So basically saying they met up with the professor and got to meet professor's fiance at the anime convention. I trust my boyfriend, but what's happening? So Bob and his group, this is the professor now talking. Bob and his group went to an anime convention. I and my friend group also went because I was not aware there was one near me until Bob mentioned it. My friend group, I thought, got along well with his friends, and it was a great first con experience. I and a few of my friends expressed interest in future events. I think she's hung up on this professor titleship, but I was an instructor who students called professor, but this was very clearly it was a side gig as I had a career. I was never in any position of power at the school. I was a contract employee used to fill an open course section at an undesirable time. For the majority of the time I knew Bob, we were equals who were only 1 year apart in age and shared a similar hobby. I respect that they view my actions unprofessionally. I did not view it at the time since I was no longer an instructor and have not been since. I taught a 4-month course 1 day a week.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying, dog. Like,
I would not be friends with an 18 to 22-year-old I had nothing in common with. And then the original OP, the girlfriend of this guy,
yeah.
talks about having the heart-to-heart and
Yeah,
creating
yeah.
boundaries and stuff. And then OP, now that this professor says, I did not know it had crossed any of their boundaries at the time until the phone call. I treated Bob the same way I treat all of my friends, but I do understand and respect that not everyone has the same view of friendship. My friend group went through a period where we would talk about going to do stuff and then no one does any work to follow through. The event Linda and our friends were going to attend that never happened is a good example. I didn't want lazy friends being the reason why I did not experience things. Bob did follow through on going to things. My husband's concern was that it was a group of guys we had not met yet in person and we were all girls. I told him that if I thought any one of them was giving off weird vibes, we would immediately leave and get a hotel. As for the phone call, he did call to tell me basically the same, and my understanding was that we should talk less because she does not like the closeness. At the time, we were messaging every day, and I did make an attempt to reduce the frequency to once a week. And then OP, the original OP, basically was like, well, but she was still talking to him all the time. And ex-professor says, one thing left out is that during the phone call between Bob and me, I asked Bob if his girlfriend would want to ever talk or get to know me, or if all three of us could hang out. And he asked her, and she said she did not want to do that, and she was uncomfortable at the thought of meeting me.
Ooh.
That feels like new information.
That is new information, but
I'm having trouble knowing who's lying here because either the original poster or the professor. But the professor's doing just dissecting paragraph by paragraph of the play-by-play. You know?
here's what I'm saying. And Kim Fine had a interesting thought where it's like, it seems pretty suspicious that she found this so quickly, especially considering how long it probably would have taken her to write this, right? But regardless, I think let's drop that because it's really irrelevant. The point is that you're being like, oh, well, that's why the dinner was weird because I knew that she had said she thought meeting me would be uncomfortable and weird. But we already got from OP that OP's got anxiety. She doesn't even want to go to the convention because she's got social anxiety.
Yeah.
So as this other person hearing that, and now you're at dinner, and here she is right in front of you with her boyfriend. Do you really think icing her out is the move? Like, that feels like...
Professor didn't ice the girlfriend out, and it was like just like perceived icing because of social anxiety.
That the boyfriend literally had to be like, hey, this is my girlfriend. Like,
I think we might get some context on the girlfriend's side. So,
you know?
Or on the professor's side. So she said she did not want to do that and she was uncomfortable at the thought of meeting me. I did stop messaging him frequently and only did so once a week to ask how his job search was going and to let him know the status of a big event in my life. I thought that was what was requested. Less interaction, not no interaction.
That is true.
And if you're new here, there are multiple parts to the story. So make sure to follow us on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. Okay, let's get back into the story. So Maria and the ex-professor, went to this dinner because everyone from the Airbnb trip was going to be there. Linda did not go. What is not mentioned is that Bob and the girlfriend arrived 40 minutes into eating. They arrived when I was away from the table. When I saw them after I returned, I nodded and said hi, not specifically at Bob or her. I did not address the hi to either, specifically because, one, girlfriend does not like me, and him talking. And I didn't want to disrespect that by talking to Bob in front of her. And two, she said she did not want to talk to me or get to know me previously. And I thought she still felt that way.
All right, that's arriving 40 minutes late to the dinner, big deal. That's a big deal. And that informs, that's way different if it's everyone's getting to the table and sitting down saying, hey, how are you? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah.
I don't know. I kind of believe the chat is split 50-50 on whether they believe the professor or not. But I kind of, that makes sense to me.
I believe that. I believe both sides of this in that I believe that the boyfriend has no intentions of hooking up. I believe that the girlfriend was still uncomfortable at this dynamic that he has with another woman she knows nothing about. And I believe that the professor was like, oh, is that the case? Okay, then I'll try not to be weird. And then all of these things have happened that have just compounded OP's own insecurities into this thing that is bigger than it actually was.
I have a conspiracy theory.
Hit me with it.
Oh, I need to fix that. The professor's hot and the girlfriend's jealous.
That could be that simple.
It could be that simple.
You know, I think, and look, we keep calling her professor. She taught one class a week for 4 months. That's 16 times she was in a classroom like for one reason.
For an hour.
And she never did it again. She's not a professor. She's an accountant that was teaching accounting briefly at a school.
Yeah.
And did not establish this connection with this guy.
But I think when the girlfriend heard professor, I think she just pedestalized.
Right, exactly.
her.
Because
And
I
if
was
she's
also
hot-
like, how is she a 25-year-old professor? It's like she's not. She just was someone they were like, can you teach accounting? We are low on staff because that is the reality of higher education.
Yeah. But we got a little bit more to this story. Actually, a good chunk. So I learned Bob and his girlfriend thought I only said hey to Bob, but I didn't direct it to anyone, and I was trying to play it safe. At that point, I knew she had social anxiety and was against meeting with me to get to know me previously, so I thought I was respecting her boundary by not talking to her. Had I known she came to personally meet me, I would have tried to talk to her. After learning why she came, I was surprised she did not try to start a conversation with me or Maria. As for the booze, except for them, since they arrived late, everyone had 2 to 3 drinks already because it was happy hour. Maria and I made friends with the bartender who gave us discounted cocktails. I ended up buying a drink for girlfriend so she should get the discount and then pay me back. It is true I said those jokes, but I was not the one to bring them up. They were said in jest. These were jokes already made in previous interactions. Later that week, Maria called me to catch up and mentioned the dinner. She commented that girlfriend made no effort to get to know us and thought girlfriend went to monitor him and me. In essence, she ignored me and Maria and I ignored her. I did not go to the show because I had a prior commitment. And then related to the comments of oh, she's crossing major boundaries, this professor, and she wants to have spicy sleep, the professor responds, as mentioned in her post, I did view Bob as a brother.
Now, that's also a little funny to me because how can you go from oh, he was just a student in my class and I didn't really have a crazy bond with him and he gave me that gift at the end and I went, oh, maybe he is cool. Now he's at brother status?
I think you could become, think about fraternity brothers. One Hayes, and you're my brother.
I don't know, man. I never did that. I was never in it.
I think,
and honestly, I think maybe that's being thrown around a little callously.
I'm still tight with my fraternity brothers in my entrepreneurship fraternity.
Yeah, but
Isham was my
right.
That's
a brother. That's a brother.
That's a brother. But he was my brother day one.
4 months,
he was
once
my brother
week.
day one, though.
That's day one.
Day one brother.
But this isn't. They weren't in a frat, guys. This is not. That's
the
not what happened
fraternity of
here.
anime cons.
I think maybe they did say something that she was
But
sharing a big
I
life
do-
thing. Maybe they had one cornerstone conversation that went, oh, we are actually cool. We're cool with each other. We're friends.
But
this is a cool thing.
I do agree with you. I think it is a little bit fast to get to brother, but I do think those things can happen quickly. Let us know if brother is a red flag.
Slightly
to you.
Dope says, Sam, that's trauma bonding.
Yes, it is. It is. It's the best kind of bonding, right? He lived similar experiences to me, but I felt like he was where I would have been had I not moved out from my parents when I did. Yeah, your boyfriend is where I would have been if I totally effed up.
Yeah, if I hadn't grown and changed and become a better person, he'd be who I was.
I wanted to see him professionally thrive and accomplish his goals of getting a car and moving out, as those were things I strived for and had already attained. As for the 5 to 6 times we met up, it was in group settings, and he met all my friends and my husband as well. This post to me makes it seem like I was always hanging on to Bob, but there were many instances of me and my friends breaking off to do our own thing. My husband and Linda's husband were both okay with us going to the Airbnb at the time, and later on met and got to know Bob too. Each time we met, if I drank, I had 2 drinks, and one time I had 3. I am not sure how Bob told these events to his girlfriend, so it may just be lost in translation. But the only person who ever got wasted at a meetup was Maria, and it was once. I do not agree with her stating that I was constantly wasted for each meetup or always asking / inviting myself to things. He invited me and Linda to join his Airbnb group. I asked if Maria could also join. I did ask to join his group for another event until my friend group arrived, which included my husband, Linda, and Maria. And his friend invited me to the group dinner. Maria attended. By the way, if you want to attend full episodes just like this, go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio app, wherever you get your podcasts, to listen to full stories. Search OK Storytime. Get this thing in your ears right now.
Yeah, this is one of the more gray area stories I think we've read.
There's another relevant update. We got a little bit more, but I feel like ex-professor to me didn't cross as many boundaries as I initially thought. And I feel like it might be more or less okay. But
yeah, I think so too.
But well, no. I feel like you could play the other side a little bit.
But it's the thing is once your partner comes to you and goes, hey, this is making me uncomfortable.
That's when you change.
That's when you change it, and that's exactly what they did.
Yeah.
So everything that's happened so far in the story, I think, is totally above board.
Yeah.
There was a comment that was just up there. Otila Angel says, it sounds like a territorial thing between females. It happens all the time. OP felt like she was being disrespected, and the professor felt like she had some kind of instant connection and wanted to deepen that connection without considering OP.
Yeah.
I mean, and
but
again,
that
it's
connection
like,
could just be
you're
friendship. Like the connection isn't necessarily romantic.
two people of the opposite sex who are deeply like committed to another relationship, like you can't be friends.
Yeah.
They were not going to the Airbnb thing alone. I think there's there's clearly miscues or miscommunications about like who said what or who offered what. But I think at the end of the day, this is more of an issue on like respecting our partner's feelings.
Yeah.
Which we did.
Yeah.
Because there was that effort made. And I think it could also be a case of...
What do you think about the focus on the waste, like the wastedness?
I think it's a case of if you look for something, you might see it. You know, if you're looking for like, oh, well, she was like, you're looking for reasons why maybe this could be wrong or bad or inappropriate. It's like, yeah, she was drinking. She was too drunk. Like, but, and that's,
And she's like saying, no, I had 2 to 3 drinks.
And it's neither here nor there, really.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you weren't there.
Yeah.
OP wasn't there. So it's from a, third-hand, second-hand knowledge. I think.
But what I'm seeing right now is I'm seeing a decent amount of platonicness.
Yeah.
I feel like this could be platonic, but I also do see in the chat like people being like, maybe she was still trying to make moves. But the more I read this, the more I'm like, I don't know. What do you think, Riley?
I think it's platonic on her end.
Oh, you're switching. So you think it's platonic on her end, but not platonic on his?
Yeah.
There is a conspiracy cooking that Bob might be playing the two ladies against each other, but
probably because who is the middleman here?
He's the middleman. He's the man in the middle. He's the meat in the middle.
I just think...
I don't know. I don't like it. Because the girlfriend may be giving him 80%, but the professor's giving that 20% of those cool anime expos and go to all those cool events he has always wanted to go to. He's kind of window shopping a little bit.
She might have also been more drunk than she thought she was.
Oh, yeah. What, like 2 to 3 drinks looks a lot different on like me versus, like than Sophia or like, like a 5-foot flat lady.
Which, there was also another comment. I can't remember who made it about how I consider Sophia's sister and how it's like, I can't have it both ways. This is different. Me and Sophia worked together 5 days a week for 10 months. Like, we're close. Yeah. This was like a acquaintanceship between the two of them that I guess at some point it was like she imprinted her own stuff onto this guy being like, oh, we had similar situations. I kind of almost kind of felt like she was talking like a baby bird, like I brought him under my wing. Yeah. Like kind of stuff.
Well, but I think that's what she thinks of him as a little brother.
Yeah.
I think that's what she thinks of him as. Ming Ming wants us to talk about how OP absolutely is just throwing Maria under the bus.
That is true.
It's pretty funny. It's like I wasn't completely hammered, but Maria, whoo!
Yeah. Maria got after it.
Yeah. What's the song? How do you solve a problem with Maria?
I don't know what you're talking about.
You don't know that song?
Nope. 0%.
What? No one knows that song?
Nope.
Come on.
Who knows that song?
Throw under a bus. That's what you do with Maria. But we got more to this story. There was Anissa Julia had a comment that I wanted to read really quick. Anissa Julia says, Sam, a month ago you called out my relationship saying that it was other problems with us, and now he's my ex. Thank you so much, Sam. I'm glad you dropped some dead weight.
Doing work.
Doing the work.
The man of the people.
Man of the people.
The people's champ.
I appreciate. You know what? This is a new chapter for you. So get excited.
Congratulations.
To this day, his girlfriend has never said a word to me or Maria. She did not say hi, only waved to us, nor us to her. When I offered to order and bring her a cocktail from the bar, I believe Bob was the only one who responded to my offer. I haven't found out about what she was thinking via this Best of Redder Updates post. Linda, Maria, and I haven't talked to Bob since. This was a cathartic write with Maria, as it is very jarring to randomly find a post about yourself and then also have someone find you from that post. And we got some relevant comments. Commenter says, there are always two sides to these stories, the jealous significant other and the other person. And OP responds, I think it was just bad communication, but it seems that I was expected to somehow know she came to the final dinner to get to know me, but all I knew was that 1, she rejected getting to know me in the past, citing she was uncomfortable, and 2, she did not try to talk to me or my friend at the dinner for the entire 3 hours we were all present together. And another commenter says, personally, I drop all communication with him and forget both of them even exist. Not worth the trouble they bring to your life. And OP responds, that is what ended up happening. Bob was angry that I ignored his girlfriend at the dinner, but I thought it was an unspoken agreement to mutually ignore each other to avoid any awkwardness.
Dude, no way you believe that. I'm sorry. No one has ever believed that ignoring someone sitting right in front of you like they don't exist is less awkward than making polite conversation.
I completely agree.
I'm calling you out for that. That's crazy.
Completely agree. I do completely agree.
You should have just been kind and
polite.
polite.
I feel it is always more awkward to ignore a person.
Yeah.
Always.
Come on.
Even
And
if you
that's almost
believe that's what they want.
Now I'm like, you're playing the game. You're like, fine, if she wants to just like not talk to me, or if she's uncomfortable with me talking to them, then I guess I won't.
That is such a good point. Even but she could have thought that's what she wanted.
But come on, you're a human being.
Yeah.
You're a human.
Let us know if you agree. Let us know if you agree or disagree.
I mean, I guess if you're on a spectrum of some kind, you can be, if there's a lack of social cues, because that's like,
she did have social anxiety. But let us know what you think. So a commenter says, for me, it was Bob agreeing that you were being inappropriate to the point that he called you and directly asked you to limit your contact with him. You then rudely don't say hi to either of them at a dinner when everyone else does until you decide to tease Bob about the period you were his teacher. I'm not shocked the girlfriend and Bob were so uncomfortable with this interaction. OP responds, sure, that is fair assessment. I said hi to both of them in their direction because I did not want to address either one individually just in case it made them uncomfortable. I left the table to go to the bathroom, and when I came back, they were there. Hindsight is 2020, and I can say that I should have talked to them since it is now clear she attended the dinner to meet me. I had thought not talking to them after Bob asked me to limit contact with him and not talking to his girlfriend was respecting their boundary. I'm going to update my post, though, to note that I did not initiate those jokes. I feel like going back to what Dakota said, like I remember just slight okay story time where there's a little bit more to the story, but slight okay story time. One of my roommates said, I got to go to Puerto Rico, and then just left for a month and left us with this random roommate like that he found on Facebook Marketplace like within 3 days. She came in and was the weirdest person ever, said she was allergic to the sun and only went out at night.
A vampire.
She literally a vampire. This was like a couple days in a row. She would, Christian and I were sleeping in the same room because we used to share a room together. And she would stand in the doorway and go, Christian, Sam, Christian, Sam, Christian, Sam, Christian, Sam, until we woke up and we're like, what is it? And she's like, I'm home. And then would like giggle and run off back to her room. And there was like a whole host of other things. But basically after she did that a couple times, I was like, hey, like you really like you can't like creepily yell our names in the middle of the night. Like we need some space, right? Like I feel like I need some space.
I'm glad you survived.
What she did after that is anytime I entered the kitchen with her or any room, she would drop everything on the floor and go put her face in a corner. And I feel like this is a little bit what the professor is doing. Kind of. It's like, oh, you want to get space? Let me go like in the corner.
Real quick, is there anything? What are the other little things she would do?
Oh, dude, there was so much. She said she got abducted by a cult and like Christian had to save her. Like she gave us like a bunch of cookies like months after. It was like
you did not eat those, right?
We did not eat those cookies. She knocked on the door and started banging on the door and she's like, I brought you cookies. Like it was like I just think she was very, socially. Aww. Also, she got a record player and got the Looney Tunes version of when you're a West Side Story, put it on blast. And like, this was the day after I said I need some space and was aggressively cooking eggs to the point where the eggs were splattering all over and was banging the pots like put it down. And I'm like, hey, like, is everything okay? And that's when she went into the corner it was nuts.
You just had a deeply disturbed random roommate.
Yeah. And she was like 35 too, to add more context.
What?
Yeah. And I think she fell in love with Christian.
That was the wildest thing you could have ever added to that she's 35.
She's 35 and she fell in love with Christian.
I mean, who doesn't?
Literally texted him.
I fall in love with Christian every day.
Christian has had this happen so many times.
It's gotten worse.
I am off topic. I need to go back to the
No,
story.
no, this is beautiful. We'll
I
get
mean,
into
I
the story in a
would
little
say
bit.
that- I would say that the professor is giving like 2% of that energy. But it's there.
It's there.
It's there, undeniably.
there.
It's lurking
It's
beneath.
a little there. But I'm going to update my post, though, to note that I did not initiate those jokes. A guy at the table mentioned it first, and I confirmed/ribbed his bit. Commenter, may I ask your age and how long you've been married? Do you think the drinks emboldened you to engage the other person's ribbing of Bob after you blatantly ignored him? Or was it your turn to talk to Bob after he asked you to chill? Opie says, not sure why you are downvoted, but we were 26 at the time and I was engaged then. I refer to my husband as such because it seemed natural. Like I explained in a separate comment, Bob and his girlfriend did not talk to me or Maria, and we did not talk to them either. His girlfriend stayed by his side the entire time, and I wasn't about to walk up to both of them and try to have a friendly conversation after knowing they were both uncomfortable with me. I thought it was a mutual, unspoken ignoring of each other. They seemed to have a good time, and me and Maria had a good time. I didn't know that they were offended. I didn't talk to them until after I found the original Reddit post. As for engaging in the ribbing, that was the vibe in the entire night. Just a good time with friends, sometimes poking fun at each other, but not seriously. Even at that point, I still did not directly talk to Bob. I just acknowledged the joke, gestured towards Bob as I was speaking, and confirmed the joke a different person at the table made. And that was it. And that is where this story ends.
I think there's no universe in which if she did have a little crush on Bob, she's going to go, I mean, yeah, I had a little crush on Bob, but I wasn't going to be weird about it.
Yeah.
It would make a lot of sense that she goes, hey, look, everything is above board, blah, 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 blah. But barring some sort of like, you know, is some kind of, because people on the spectrum, it's like if you have ADD or it's like you have autism, it's like sometimes you can like lose, you're not really aware of like your social cues or like proper social like procedure. So it could make sense like if someone tells you, oh, like if you find out, oh, this person doesn't want to know me or get to know me or talk to me at all, maybe you would kind of hyper zoom in on that and be like, well, then now I'm going to actually ignore them even though they're sitting across the table from me. And like it could be coming from a misguided place. I'm more suspicious that it's coming from that 2% milk version of your crazy, insane roommate from Facebook.
Yeah, I feel it's giving a little bit of that energy. But, you know, at the end of the day, I feel like it seems like everything was above board. It seems like it was just a miscommunication. I don't think there was any spicy sleep. But I would love to know from you guys what you think. Is this relationship above board? Is it not? How do you think it spiraled? Let us know in the comments. But with
My friend's fiance doesn't want me at their wedding, but I'm still going. You can't stop me. I've known the groom, Mike, since I was 5, or in other words, for 22 years. We grew up together and have never lost contact. We've been close friends and still hang out once a week. By the way, this comes from Yosarian Lives. Or Yosarian Lives. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, or we did until they started dating. It didn't bother me that he couldn't come have an adult soda anymore because I understood how new relationships work. It started to bother me a little when he missed every World Cup match. We have never missed the matches. His fiancée, Holly, says that they're both coming. And then shortly before meetup time, Holly doesn't feel well and they don't show. Mike always makes the excuse that she doesn't like coming into the city. I live in the city and Mike used to live here with me. It's not just me that gets blown off. It's our whole group. There are 4 of us, including Mike. There's me, Chuck, and Jess. We have been together since we were children. Mike doesn't have a lot of family, so Chuck and Jess's family pretty much adopted him. Mike's always been really close with their parents because he lived with them for years. The problem is that Holly doesn't want anything to do with us. We usually do things as a group, and a few years ago, my boyfriend joined the group. The other 2 have revolving significant others, but none of them have ever had a problem with the group. We accept whoever and love to have someone who brings new ideas, restaurants, hobbies, etc. into the fold. Mike's had a rough past and a couple rough choices as far as SOs are concerned, so we were elated to meet Holly. She's decent looking, fit, has a degree, and participates in sports. But she's strange and awkward. But she was only great for the first month or so. Pretty soon, she refused to hang out with the group and had an even bigger problem if Mike wanted to hang out with us alone. She pretty much said, heck no. Mike said she wouldn't come to the city because she was having financial problems. You're probably going to be staying with people. Why can't you come to the city? Right? This is when he explained that even though she has a degree, she doesn't use it. Instead, she was a hostess in a restaurant. Holly said she doesn't use the degree because she was just too nervous. So instead, she got a second job bagging groceries. Now she has even less time to do anything because she's working 2 jobs. Our group is a little confused. We were all fairly successful and hardworking adults with 4 years, grads, or doctorates. So we have a hard time relating to our chosen jobs. Don't get me wrong, I worked in the restaurant industry for 10 years and Jess and Chuck were both baggers, but it was when they were 14. Okay, well, I don't think there's any problem with, working in a restaurant when you're, in your 20s. That's, anytime actually. There's no problem with working in a restaurant or
You make
working
good
as a
money there.
bagger. Yeah. You get a lot of tips.
Yeah.
I don't know if we need to judge her on this.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, we don't say anything, but all start to wonder if she actually has a degree. I know a lot of people that have degrees that work at restaurants. I don't love this specific thing.
Like
that
how they just
he's-
jump to that.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's more reasons
Yeah.
rather than just her not using it.
If one were to ask her any questions about her degree in school, she can't answer basic questions and changes the subject ASAP. I thought maybe entering a new group was overwhelming for Holly, so I invited her out on her own a few times. Once to a bar, but she said she'll only go to a bar with her mom or aunt. Yeah, no clue why that is. Next, Opie invited her to a park near a place in the country. She said she had a headache. Lastly, to a breakfast place on a weekend. She just didn't respond whatsoever. This was over 6 months or so. She still lives with her mom and only seems to hang out with her mom. I don't think she's ever had any friends. She doesn't seem to know anyone besides her family. Maybe that's why she doesn't like us? I don't know. So it came down to the wedding. Mike told me the time. He said he would need some help with prep that day. I was excited for him and kept my apprehensions to myself. Next came the invitations, and I wasn't invited to the ceremony, but I was invited to the reception. Not only was I not invited to the ceremony, neither was Chuck, Jess, or their parents, who took care of Mike like he was their own. I let it sit for a few days until I saw Mike and Holly. First time any of us have seen her in over 7 months. Everyone wants to know, but no one wants to ask why we aren't invited. So I asked Holly anyway. She said, "No offense, but it's only for people we're actually close to. Don't worry, the people who I work with at the restaurant and don't really like are only coming to the reception and not the ceremony too." Whoa!
I feel like you could have just said the second part of that sentence.
You didn't have to say "and don't really like." Whoa!
You could, wait, say that again because that was crazy.
Yeah, she said, "No offense, but it's only for people we're actually close to. Don't worry, the people who I work with at the restaurant and don't really like are only coming to the reception and not the ceremony too."
Why would people you don't really like come to the reception at all?
But now she's implying that they don't really like OP and his friends.
Yeah,
You didn't have to say that, even if you didn't like them.
right. You could have said that so differently. Keeping it small, we're doing like people that are like really, really close, not just the people that we just don't like. We're inviting people that we don't like to our wedding,
You didn't
but they're
have to-
not invited
yeah.
to the ceremony. Weird.
Crazy. I thanked her for her honesty and asked who would be at the ceremony. She went on to list all of her relatives, second cousins she had met only once or twice, and convicted substance dealers that she hates, but they're family, so they're coming.
Oh, okay. Well,
When Mike hears this list, his face goes slack, and he seems confused about why me and my group aren't invited and who these other people are. Ollie tells him not to worry about it, and then ignores him. Mike pulls me aside and asks me to please come to his ceremony. I said it was all right that I didn't because I wasn't family. He got upset and hugged me and said to never say that because I was his family and always would be. He then told the whole group and their parents to come to the ceremony, but to not tell Holly that we were going to it because it would upset her. My boyfriend thinks she may be jealous. Jess and I are both fairly attractive and successful. I have an excellent career and advanced degree and have worked hard to have a beautiful and spacious home of my own. I understand that she still lives at home and may or may not have a 2-year degree. I just bought a new car and I'm not sure if she has one that works properly. Okay, OP is being very judgmental. I do kind of wonder
yeah.
if this is a little bit like of a Mean Girls face-off kind of thing. Like where OP's always been like, what do you even do? Oh, you work at a restaurant?
Yeah.
And then
like, do you even
Holly's-
use your degree?
yeah,
Do
and
you
then
even have
Holly's
a
trying
degree?
to like fire back and being like, yeah, don't worry, it's only people we like. Like I wonder if it's kind of a Mean Girl off. It
I could
totally
see
could
that.
be wrong, and it could just be Holly being
Sure.
the person that sucks. But,
Yeah.
that's my theory.
So the groom is saying that OP is always family? Is that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so weird.
I know. I try not to talk about any of these things around her. not my career, travels, achievements, etc. But my friends ask specific questions and these things come out around her. As soon as they do, she just plays on her phone and ignores us, but especially me. The same thing happens if Jess mentions any of her achievements or things that kick butt about her. Holly doesn't mind at all if Chuck talks about his accomplishments. We have an annual apple picking tour of the ice cream factory and murder mystery dinner coming up. These are annual fall activities that we have done for over a decade.
Oh.
She's refusing to go and doesn't want Mike to either. Not cool. She says she's too busy and wants to relax in her free time. My question, finally, if we can't even get her to go on these fall activities, how are we supposed to show up at her wedding ceremony only partially invited? Yeah, I mean, Mike needs to talk to Holly.
Yeah.
100%. I mean, this is totally inappropriate. If Mike wants his friends to be there,
Yeah.
then his partner should not be saying they can't come.
Yeah.
And also, he needs to feel like he's able to freaking talk to his partner about it.
Exactly.
I don't want to upset her on her big day, but I don't want to let down one of my best friends by not being there on his wedding day. I tried to talk to her. She pretended she couldn't hear me and then asked for my boyfriend's number, which I happily provided, but don't know what she wanted it for. She wouldn't say anything else. And there is an update, folks, but what do you think?
I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
Seems to be no proper reason. Like,
No.
unless she did hear about, like, their judgments about her degree and her job or whatever, like, I can understand why she's bitter, but it's still not the best way to go about this.
No. I mean, it just seems like Mike and Holly do not know how to communicate at all.
Yeah.
Like,
It's
they're lying
not-
to each other, which is not helpful when you're about to get married.
Yeah, this is not a good way to start out a marriage at all.
No. But there is an update. I failed to mention myself and my group have talked to Mike. I have been blunt and told him that I think he is being emotionally mistreated and manipulated. I have even sent him posts from the sub that are scarily similar. Mike honestly and truly believes that all of his and Holly's issues are only caused by the mother. Mike usually has a no BS policy, so I cannot say why he has accepted her multiple lies. Mike generally wants to be the savior in a relationship. Lastly, I ignored the obvious until someone messaged me. Holly's issue with Jess must be because she isn't currently attached. Holly was much nicer to her when Jess had a relationship for a few months. Holly is very jealous of any woman talking to or touching Mike, as in Holly won't go to his work functions because she would have to see women talking to him. Yikes!
Dang, what?
It's been over a year, but a post today reminded me of my and my friend's situation. So it has been interesting. We all went to the wedding.
Oh, okay.
Holly, however, hated our presence with a burning passion. I mean, I still don't understand. Katie says, wait, is OP male or female? OP is female.
She
There are
just
two
doesn't-
girls in this
Ugh.
friend group and then a couple other boys.
She just doesn't like that they're
Yeah.
girls.
Yeah, truly,
She's just
that's it.
insecure.
Yeah, she's like, I want Mike all to myself. And so she's been isolating Mike from all of his friends,
Yeah.
even though OP has known him since she was 5 years old.
Yeah. That's just so silly,
Yeah.
Billy. Of
Very
anyone
silly.
in a relationship that's like, no, you can't
You can't
talk
talk
to
to
the
women.
gender that you're attracted to.
You don't trust each other.
Yeah, it's,
Just-
yeah,
it's not gonna
exactly.
work.
So you shouldn't be getting married right
Yeah.
now.
She complained loudly when Mike stopped at our table to thank us for coming, that we weren't her invites, and that she didn't want him to waste his time talking to us because he had to go meet the tables of people that she had invited
Oh my
that he had
God.
never met before. Was he allowed to invite anyone?
I mean, I guess he was, but they are to be shunned.
Mike's sister was punted out of the wedding because Holly had her sister-in-law pick out Mike's sister's dress, and sister-in-law sat for the fitting. Holly said it was too late to get the dress altered for Mike's sister, and she was out.
Oh my God.
Mike's sister is about 5 inches shorter and 4 to 5 sizes smaller than Holly's sister-in-law, so there's that. After the wedding, Holly pretty much cut off contact with the group and insisted that Mike was far too busy with her and her family, who, yes, they're living with, to spend time with us. All in all, he missed graduations, birthdays, and the terrible loss of someone close to us. Mike wasn't allowed to text or call us because we could text her instead. Mike and Holly, however, did come to dinner around mine for all the major holidays where we made it clear that we were concerned and literally thinking about kidnapping him. Slowly, Mike started secretly contacting the group. Yes, secretly. Dude, get out of there. Divorce your wife. She sucks.
Yeah,
She's isolating you from all your friends.
absolutely.
He would say he was going to work, take a half day, and meet me to chat. I told him I wasn't okay with lying to his wife about just grabbing lunch. and asked him what was going on. Long story short, Mike has gotten into a lot of trouble for being friends with us.
Ugh.
For example, I drew Holly's name in the small gift exchange that we have. I knew she hated coffee but loved tea. Additionally, I knew she was getting me a nice takeaway mug for coffee because she had my name. I went and got her a nice mug that I thought she would enjoy, a few samples of fun teas, a diffuser shaped like a manatee. I thought it was a cute thing, and a few little things. I hand decorated the box and was excited, thinking she was going to really like it. She didn't. She hated it. Holly wouldn't talk again until Mike took her home. Once they were home, she told her mom what Mike's friend had got her for the exchange. Holly and her mom spent 3 no-joke hours yelling at Mike and berating him for not talking to me about the gift that I would buy Holly.
What?
Wow.
Like,
Yeah,
this
she
is
sucks. She
such a
sucks.
good opportunity for her to be friends with OP.
Literally, I don't understand.
It's so easy.
so easy. And she's just making this all terrible
Yeah.
for everyone. And then her husband's going to leave her.
Yeah.
According to them, I guess Holly and Mother, Mike should have made it clear that Holly only wanted Disney gift cards for presents.
Oh my gosh.
It showed that he didn't think about her because of the gift I bought her. Mike grabbed the mug, said Holly didn't get presents from his friends if she was going to say such rude things about me and not appreciate the thought. I don't know the rude things, if you're wondering. Holly's mom grabbed the mug from him and smashed it at his feet and told him she was teaching him a lesson about defending another woman. Leave.
Yeah.
Leave. Mike,
That is so
get out of
insane.
there. This is totally inappropriate.
Oh my gosh.
Come New Year's, Holly actually invited me out. Don't go. I made the mistake of thinking she meant the group and told the gang. That was on me. Holly, like always, adores my boyfriend though and didn't mind that, but she hates Jess with a passion. Long story short, Mike sat next to Jess for a few minutes to talk instead of by me or my boyfriend. So Holly hid in the bathroom and would only talk to Mike over Facebook Messenger so that her mom could discuss the issue with them. Why is her mommy talking to him so much?
I don't know.
It's like, my mommy says that you're in trouble.
Yeah.
And know exactly what was said before you scroll up to check the ages. We are all around 30, give or take a few years. There are a lot more things, but you get the point. Lately, things have slightly improved. Holly is maybe treating me like a friend. She started to text me, but it always concludes with her asking me questions about Mike. I always apologize and tell her that I'm not comfortable asking questions that I think she should direct towards Mike. I really don't know what else to say. Mike and I have been close for 20 years. Unless he cheats on her or he has my loyalty. It upsets her that I won't share. Mike has made it clear that he is too old to have fights that Holly's mother mediates. It's not mediation. Mike and Holly both say she screams at Mike constantly. Mike told Holly that they are moving out of her parents' house or he is moving out alone. I'm proud of him because that must have been rough, but why the heck he put himself in this, I don't know. Yeah, Duchess Cassandra says Holly's one of those girls that has no girlfriends. Yeah, she's jealous of all of them.
Which is so like hypocritical though
sad,
too, because
yeah.
if she is so mad at Mike for like having friends that are girls, yet she is becoming friends with these girls' boyfriends, like what's the double standard here?
Strange. So last major point, Holly has been coming around more, which is an improvement. Well, our annual fall apple picking day came round and it was great fun. But Holly made a comment that I cannot stop thinking about. Turns out Holly was in the Special Olympics when she was younger because her and everyone in her special classes got to participate if they wanted. I know, last thread, someone asked about the Arrested Development show with Rita. Well, I'm an a-hole and thinking about her comment and that makes me laugh probably too much. I am now slightly wondering if she is neurodivergent.
I'm wondering that as well.
I'm
She's in
slightly
the
wondering
Special
that.
Olympics?
Yeah.
Unless it was a physical thing?
Well, that would
but-
be Paralympics.
Oh, gotcha.
Well, I think, right? Just wondering now.
Interesting. That definitely does
Changes a
add
changes
something
things.
to it. Obviously, you still don't have to put up with this stuff,
No.
but there's different way that you could go about it.
Sure.
That really is the only thing that it changes, honestly.
All right, guys. Mike may be getting his head on straight and knows that he's in a bad relationship. It's controlling, aggressive, and largely domineered by Holly's mother. I think he knows he has to at least move out. Well, I am wondering now, really quick. If Holly is neurodivergent, maybe she has a little bit more, like needs a little bit more help, and that's why she's living with her mom, and her
That's what
mom
I
is
was
kind of
thinking.
super overprotective.
Yeah, like maybe the reason that Holly's mom like has so much say in this right now is because of that.
Yeah.
OP, that's a big thing that you're leaving out.
Yeah.
Really big thing.
And Nina Nelson says neurodivergence doesn't give you a pass to abuse, though. No, of course
Totally,
not. And
totally.
the mom is just as bad. And
Yeah.
sure, it can be hereditary, but still not okay. Definitely not at all. I'm just saying it is a relevant thing.
Yeah, it's still like something that you have to consider
Yeah.
when you are reacting to it.
Yeah.
So it does make our job a little difficult.
Yeah. My question is he insane for thinking that Holly will be okay once they move out on their own? Holly hasn't ever lived on her own and doesn't want to move far from her parents, but Mike does because he misses the city where we all live and he works. I think he needs to run for the hills. I mean, I don't hate the woman. She's okay, but I pay for his divorce if he said the word. I'm worried because Holly keeps sending me pictures of baby-related things, and I'm sure as heck not pregnant, and neither is Jess. She won't comment on why she's sending them, though. The Special Olympics thing, can someone enlighten me about that? I saw that you are required to have a mental or physical handicap of some sort to participate on the website. Could this crazy behavior just be from whatever made her eligible for participation?
Oh, wow. So OP doesn't even know.
OP does not know.
Wow.
But you can participate in more full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime.
Mm-hmm.
There is a little bit left to this story.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense that OP is leaving it out because she doesn't even
she's
get
like,
it.
I don't know. I think it is relevant information, and I would love to learn. But I also do think that this is not a relationship that's super healthy.
Yeah.
Certainly not while she's living with her mom.
Yeah.
But there's a little bit left to this story. A few things from last thread. Yes, Holly attended university. She lived at home and lied about living at school, and she never passed her final certification to finish. Holly says that everyone pushes her to do it, so she won't, because she doesn't like being pushed towards doing something. The couple lies she told were why she was so secretive about it all. Disney trip had to be postponed because Mike got an awesome new job that was a huge step up. Yay, Mike! But Holly almost left him for postponing their trip. Too bad that fell through, right? I know it doesn't sound like it, but beyond Holly being sort of odd sometimes, selfish and unfriendly, she can be civil and kind of decent, at least the last month or two. And Mike was incredibly shocked about the Special Olympics comment. He kept questioning her about it in disbelief. It was awkward, but hey, she did all the track events, so that's cool. And folks, that's the end of that story.
All right.
Good luck to Mike.
Yeah.
Duchess Cassandra says, yeah, Mike is insane that he thinks a move will change her. She needs professional help for that, and sometimes even that does not work. But that's the end of that story.
My husband is still friends with his ex. I heard them talking bad about me.
Well, that's not very nice now, is it?
I have been married for 4 months now, and I've been married for 4 months now, and we had dated for 2 years prior. This girl has been on his friend group for quite some time now, and it was never an issue until recently.
Uh-oh.
By the way, this comes from Throwaway Box 6446, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, we had hosted a little celebration recently, and at a point, all the ladies were gathered in a room, and I was chatting with her. She's unmarried and 3 years older than me, and is still stunningly pretty too, like model gorgeous. So we're laughing and talking, well, till she brings up my husband, asking how it's going and if he was troubling me in any way, in a joking manner. She then pulls her phone out and scrolls down to show me pics of his from before. I was surprised she still had pics of that time, but nearly every single one of them was during the time they had dated. And when I got uncomfortable and told her to stop, she just laughed it away.
Huh. That is weird.
Really?
I mean, I guess if they're like still friends, then they probably didn't end on any bad notes. I just can't imagine having pictures of your ex still in general. You know?
This is
But-
a little fishy.
Little fishy.
My husband was in his 20s then. She called it his prime. Bet she does. And they traveled more than me and him ever did. What shocked me most was what she showed me pics and videos of them having traveled to Barcelona twice. And this was shocking because when I told him about visiting that place, he outright refused it, and he said he hated that place, calling
Wow.
it boring.
Interesting.
If somewhere's boring, are you going to go there again?
If something's boring, am I gonna?
If somewhere's boring, would you
Yeah.
go there again?
No, but I would expect that Barcelona wouldn't be boring.
Some people don't like Spain.
I guess.
At a point, I was tired of her telling
all of her stories, so I left. It was probably a bit stupid to get angry about something like that, but I decided to leave the room. Later on, somewhere around late night, all his friends were down in the living room. One of their spouses had pump, so I gave her a separate room for privacy. I thought of joining them all, but then I heard one of the guys talking about how my husband's parents accepted me in the family. He and his family are all Koreans, and most of his friends mostly belonging to the same community. I am from Indonesia, and it was a lot of trouble when he told his parents about me. Though all of it has been fixed now, it felt weird to listen to that again. Cause a lot of slurs are still thrown around even though I've been living here for years. My husband told them it's been tough, but it's all right now. And then his friend, who I was chatting to earlier, talks about how she had sent him on many blind dates with pretty women and decided to choose me.
What? This is weird.
They were all wasted, so maybe they didn't know or didn't mean those words, but it still hurt a lot. They started laughing loudly, telling my husband I was a bit ugly according to his standards in the past. And one of them even acknowledged his relationship with the girl. My husband then said words I never imagined he would, telling them that I might be ugly, but I married her. Someone who used to comfort me when I cried or bring me to shop and give me clothes. Someone I was now having a kid with, admitting I'm ugly. Felt terrible.
Oh my gosh.
What do you even do?
I don't know. This is a problem. I would be pissed.
I was about to call you that, but like I can't.
Just now, just
I
to
was
see.
like, hey, I just can't, dude.
Like if that happened, I would leave.
Yeah.
If we had a baby, it'd be harder to do that.
Yeah.
It'd be hard because you love them. I
Get
don't know.
baby.
Step one, knock
Get
her
baby.
up.
Knock her up.
Step two, now you can call her ugly.
Yep. Those are the steps to take according to Angie. I know when to call you ugly now.
Oh my gosh.
right as soon as you have the kid.
As
Hey,
soon as
you're
I have
pretty
the
ugly,
kid.
man.
Dude. I'm probably insecure from being pregnant and stuff.
Yeah.
Dude. Oh, this is terrible. I think it's the friends. I think he needs to get rid of the friends. They seem no
Yeah.
good.
All the incident of the day just came down, and I walked out before I heard too much. I decided to shower and then go to sleep before they did. But this morning, after they all left and my husband stumbled back in bed, I still kept thinking about it. It's difficult to convince myself now that they're only friends. They have a longer history than I did with him, and his friends acknowledging it is even worse. This morning, despite his state, he hugged her and said goodbye and arranged a pack of sweets he told me she likes and to enjoy the trip back. It's been eating at my insecurities, especially after seeing the pictures. My husband looks so much younger without the fine lines now appearing and the youthful look back then. A part of me is jealous. I never enjoyed that part of him. Whereas she's not only more rich than me, but also too pretty. And it hurts after being called ugly by someone who I thought loved me. This has been bugging me for a while and also seems like a very stupid thing to confront about. So can any of you give me advice on what to do? She even talked about sending each other bouquets without roses, but gifts instead. I used to tell him that I wanted one of those for my birthday with books, but he told me he had better things in mind and never gave me one. I feel bad that he didn't do it when I asked him, but it was a routine for someone before me. And I'm going to give some advice. Sounds like a conversation, and it sounds like someone might need to move on.
Like in the dating world?
Yeah.
I don't know. It feels like you're not moved on in a way. Like you can have similar experiences and not have it be the same and not have to think about your old partner. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or
I agree.
replace those memories with your new partner.
I agree. I remember whenever I got broken up with, there were a lot of stuff that was hard for me to do, but I just had to do it.
You
And
just
I had
got to
get
do
through
it. Exactly.
She also wasn't in my life anymore. Seems like this person
Yeah.
is still in the husband's life.
Yeah, that is true. Messy. And
Because okay, let's say like my ex was still in my life. I always gave her roses. I give you roses. What is she gonna say? Oh, you gave her roses because you used to give that to me.
which is like so stupid though, because like she shouldn't be talking about that stuff anymore. She shouldn't be like, oh yeah, like that's good that you're doing that because I liked it when you did that with me. That's weird. If you're still friends with your ex, you can't be talking about relationships like that.
Can't be bringing up the past.
Not like that, man.
Yikes. Comments. Jamie Cam says, your issue shouldn't be with this woman, but with your husband. The man you married feels comfortable sitting around with friends and talking badly about you. A good man would have shut down that conversation and never allowed guests in his home to degrade his wife in any way.
Yep.
Ponzomania says, I had to set my phone down when she mentioned her husband's friends casually referring to her as racial slurs. If anyone had the effing audacity To call my partner a racial slur in my house, no less. They're getting the knock the F out. OP says, I didn't expect him to shut it down or even divert the conversation, but he accepted it, and that's what hurts. Little Cats 3 says, your husband needs to make a hard choice about his life is going to look like going forward. He either wants to keep these people in his life and lose you, or keep you and ditch the friends. None of these people are good people, and they all talked badly about you, and your husband didn't decent you or himself. This ex-girlfriend is his ex for a reason. She's a jealous person who is purposely showing you the pictures to make you feel jealous. I'm assuming she hid those specific pictures because she told her things about you, like how you wanted to go to Barcelona. At a minimum, that ex needs to be cut out. No contact, and frankly, I wouldn't mind putting her in her place beforehand. You have been married for 4 months. Do you think you could do this for years? It's never too late to get out of a bad situation. You'll know if he's willing to stand up for you when you talk to him about this. OP says, he probably didn't tell her, and maybe that's why the friends were laughing about their relationship. Gosh, this hurts. We got an update.
Oh my goodness.
Definitely bring this up. You have to.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It definitely is a red flag on the boyfriend's or the husband's side, because like if we were married, first of all, like that, if we were dating, this would still be a problem, but if we were married, like that's a much bigger problem. And I was still friends with my ex, and you saw that we were literally just crap talking you, like that's a whole nother issue, is that he's straight, not only is he crap talking OP, he is crap talking her with his ex.
Yeah,
that's terrible.
I'm gonna have to leave, man. 4 months. All right. This was cool little trial.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah. Did not pass.
Yikes.
I'm scared for this update.
So I shared about this incident to my friends, and they've urged me to make plans with them to Barcelona itself. I agreed, and we went to do a bit of shopping for it. I have been feeling way better now after talking to them and all the support you guys gave too. I'm really grateful. My husband has been texting me continuously for a while now. I'm staying at my friend's house for a while. I texted him saying that I wasn't happy with the company he kept and told him about what his friend did, showing me their pictures. I also told them that he admitted I was ugly to his friends. He answered by saying that he was mostly wasted and didn't mean it, and that he and his friends' culture is where it's normal to comment on people's appearances and not to take it to heart, and said all the cheesy stuff after that, but how he still thinks I'm really beautiful, but I can't accept that anymore. He told me he'll talk to his friends about it and ask them to apologize. I told him that I can leave if he still has feelings for his friend, but he said that was all a past fling. There's a reason they broke up. He told me I'm the one he wants to have kids with, but I feel like he wants me to be a baby producing machine for his family. And guys, you could be a machine for us. All you got to do is go to your favorite podcast platform, search up OK Storytime on what?
On Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, or Spotify, or whatever your favorite podcast app is.
And be a machine and play one of our only episodes that are 2,000. We have so many. But back to the story, baby produce a machine.
Yeah.
I mean, what could happen is like I got babies happening on the side, and I'm still with this friend over here.
Still got this cool girl that I could go to Barcelona with.
The fling never ended.
Fling never stopped. It can be flung again.
I'm still looking for a lawyer. Wow. And my brother has offered to help me too. He got really angry after hearing about the situation. I have a place of my own where I shift to after I come back from the trip. My husband is back to constantly calling, though I texted him to stop, and he hasn't done anything yet. I'm still a bit confused, but I think this trip is going to help me clear my mind. I haven't told him anything yet, and I'm thinking about blocking him in my socials, though my friend suggested he sees that I am living my best life without him knowing. Scary Stardust, I remember you saying they are all Korean, and it's true about the toxicity in that culture and the way they talk about looks, but that doesn't mean you have to put up with it. Good for you. OP says,
Yeah.
I don't think he's constantly apologizing through text and stuff, and he's just sent me pictures of something he made with a sorry caption. I feel a bit bad for leaving, but it's just like that. That's true, OP.
Is that the end of the story?
That's the end of the story.
Oh my gosh.
She's leaving him.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, and I've never been drunk before, but if I get drunk and I'm calling my girlfriend ugly, it's like,
Yeah.
why? Why aren't you with her? You know?
Yeah, I know. It's like that's not something that's just like your mind doesn't change that much when you're drunk to have
really?
completely different opinions like that. Yeah.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, like
She gets drunk every day, so
that's
she's
so
an
not
expert at
true.
this.
That is so not true. But like that commenter was saying, yeah, like even if it's a thing to comment on people's appearances and have it not be like a big deal in those cultures and stuff, that's not the kind of thing that you would say. Like that's obviously I don't know that specific culture exactly, but from cultures that I know that they do that, like and just people, it's always like, oh, I'm just gonna be like honest about what you actually look like or like what this and that is or whatever, but it's never like just making things up. So if he's just being honest, then he actually thinks you're ugly and you should not be together, and you should not believe him when he's saying that you're pretty when you saw him, you know, say you're ugly behind your back. So yeah, but that is the end of that story. So let's get into the next one.
My husband's ex wore her wedding dress to my wedding because I asked her to.
It's the bride for thee and the bride for me?
Ooh. Well,
Ooh.
last weekend, my husband, 27 male, and I, 30 female, got married. Congrats.
Congrats.
It was a great wedding, and I had a great time leading up to it. There's only been one thing that's left a sour taste in my mouth.
It's all the sour candy I ate.
Ooh, by the way, this comes from Wedding Dress Throw 11, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So growing up, I always wanted a big princess wedding. I know some people see those as tacky and immature, but it was always my dream. You know what? You deserve your dream, OP. As part of this, the theme of the wedding was ballroom.
Nice. Just a room for balls.
I feel like that's being like, my flavor for this cake is vanilla.
Yeah.
That's what it gives. And I told everyone to wear the nicest things they owned and told the women in particular to try to outshine me, quote unquote. Put some ICUs in the chat. I even went as far as telling the married women to wear their wedding dresses.
Okay. This is an interesting thing to do.
We're all getting married.
We are getting married.
We are getting married. All 50 of us.
I do. No. We do.
Oh, God. I didn't care about being outdressed. Instead, all I wanted was to fulfill the aesthetic in my head that I had for the wedding, which included everyone else looking nothing less than extravagant. And no, before people ask, I don't regret my decision. It was really special to see my mom, aunts, and bridesmaids all in their own dresses on my big day. It kind of felt like they were passing the torch on to me, and I really enjoyed that experience. Now on to my husband's friend. My husband has this friend I will call Kate, 27 female. Kate is my husband's childhood friend and first love. First love is at the wedding.
Oh no. Does Kate have a wedding dress?
Oh, it's too perfect. My husband comes from a small town, and the majority of his friends he's known since adolescence. In their senior year of high school, Kate and my husband got engaged. There we go. So ex-fiance too.
So it's an ex-fiance at your wedding. She's going to probably wear the dress she bought to marry your husband. That's going to be totally fun.
Ooh,
fun, right?
Sophia, how do we feel about that?
Uh-oh.
Do we love that? Is that the greatest thing ever?
Uh-oh.
Ooh.
Now, this is kind of normal where they're from to get engaged in high school, a senior year. They called off the wedding and never went through with it. It was mutual. They felt they were growing up too fast and wanted to slow down. The calling off the wedding was the end of the relationship, but they stayed friends. I knew this information prior to getting with my husband and never had a problem or felt jealous because I'm friends with a few exes myself. In fact, 2 of my exes were invited to our wedding.
Okay.
We're having an ex off. Who can invite the most exes and ex-fiancés?
They just got confused about what Xmas was supposed to be.
Oh, God.
Wait, is Mass? No, Mass isn't about weddings, is it? I'm looking at our resident Catholic.
That's a choice.
Yeah, Mass is just, there's no
wedding.
Wait, what?
There's not a Mass for weddings.
Yeah.
Right? There is?
The ceremony is the... Well, it's a...
Oh, they call
it's
that
not
a Mass?
No, it's not a... Well, no, yeah, it wouldn't be a Mass. It would be a ceremony in the
Dang
church.
it. Okay, I was trying to see if my joke made sense or not. It still doesn't.
No.
Because I said an X-Mass. Like the
Christmas?
like the Mass being... Because there's all these X's and it was at their wedding, but a wedding's not a Mass. And I don't know that because I'm not the Pope.
Yeah.
Sorry.
All right. It is a ceremony in a church, though, sometimes.
Yes. Okay. Point being, what are we doing?
Dakota's not the Pope. Newsflash.
Why are we making our wedding on extreme mode? Why are
have
we
to.
doing this?
We have to invite all of our exes, Dakota. That's the only attendees available.
Yes, that's what matters most.
That's all we're doing. One of my exes was my bridesmaid. I'm bi. And the other was invited as a guest along with his current girlfriend. I've never had a problem with Kate being my husband's ex, but I have had a problem with Kate as a person, as she is kind of witchy and gossips like she is still in high school. A few examples of this are, just a month into our relationship, she confessed to my husband she still had some lingering feelings. Well, to which he responded that they had already tried and it didn't work. He said that if she brought it up again, he would cut her off out of respect for me. I wasn't that mad at the time because I understood they had a long history and my relationship with him was just starting out. And she owed it to herself to see if there was anything still there before it was too late.
Okay, sorry. I was like, she told you she still had feelings for your fiance right before you got married. She's still going to the wedding.
A few months into the relationship, but still.
This was before that, but it's like immediately like, oh, okay, so we should like really take some time and space so that you can like just get back to zero with me, right?
Yeah.
Ooh,
Not just like, oh, like that's just Kate being Kate.
it's just. Why are we making our wedding about everyone we used to date?
Because it's got to be Chan and Kate plus 8 of your exes. 2000s TV reference.
Yes,
That's mine. Dakota had some the other day.
Early 2000s lifestyle TV.
Let's go.
Gemstone.
However, after she was turned down, her attitude towards me changed to fake nice and started calling me things like cougar or asking me how I was expected to make a relationship work as I want to be an anesthesiologist, which would require long work hours. God forbid a woman work and be married.
God forbid a woman be a hardworking anesthesiologist.
This is illegal. She would also tell my husband's whole friend group how she doesn't like my loud personality. And when I confronted her about all of those things, she would just say, oh, it was just a joke. Or, you're so loud, I felt like you would just go off.
Go off.
What does that even mean? I don't understand.
I just don't like the thing of it's like, no, that thing I said about your personality was just a joke.
Yeah.
I said without you around.
Exactly.
It's not a joke. You're just insulting me.
It's like if you said to your close friend that you're wearing circus pants, but it's meant in a good way.
To be fair, that's not what I said. I said
Actually, you know what? To be fair, sorry, it's not on me. To be fair, you were in the room.
What do you mean?
John was in the room when you said those pants look like circus pants.
Right in here is where I said they were circus pants.
No, you said
downstairs. I did not call them circus pants when
Yes,
I
you
first
did.
saw them.
I was in the room.
No.
You said, yes, John was in there with his pants, and you said, those pants look like circus pants. John didn't hear you. I heard you, and I said, those pants look cool.
No, John was outside.
No, John was there.
Christian heard me say they were circus pants.
I heard you say, and John was there. John didn't hear.
Well, we'll never know the truth.
We will never know.
We'll never know other than
Either way, John didn't hear.
that John's pants rock. All right.
I like them, John.
And I'd
for
fight
real.
him for those pants. Because I've also always envied the pinstripe pants. I had a pair
That's cool.
that I had to get rid of.
Drop some pinstripe pants in the chat, ladies and gentlemen. There's more crap, but if I typed it all, I would never get to the point. Now, Kate has her own husband that I'll call Gerald. Kate and Gerald both make average in terms of finances, as they're both teachers. Kate teaches kindergarten and Gerald teaches seniors. They got married last year. Okay, so Kate is married. On a teacher's salary, Kate wasn't able to afford the most luxurious wedding dress out there, but I always had the impression that she was happy with it. Kate does have another wedding dress from when she was going to marry my husband that her dad paid for, who has unfortunately passed now, which in terms of fanciness is a bit nicer, but obviously she didn't want to wear that dress to her own wedding. Yeah, that makes sense. I was expecting Kate to wear the wedding dress that she wore to her own wedding to ours, but when I looked and saw her, she had the wedding dress she was supposed to wear when she was going to get married to my husband.
Oops.
Poll. A-hole or not?
No.
No?
Oh, is Kate the a-hole?
Is Kate the a-hole?
No.
Yes.
No.
Kate's not the a-hole?
No. OP asked for this.
Mm,
OP
and that's
asked
the debate.
for this.
Sophia, real quick, what's your take?
I think that it would be hard for OP to necessarily call her out on it, but think it's pretty weird. I'd probably be, if I were the husband, I'd be like, I don't know if I want to have a relationship with you in any way now. To the, this ex fiance.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she got asked. I agree. No more relationship with me because you want to marry me. But wifey better not be mad because she expressly approved this.
We're literally 50-50 split in chat. Oh, now it's more the a-hole, but comment below what you think. We're gonna keep on rolling here. So when I saw her, I immediately went, what the F? But decided to just drop it because I didn't want a conflict on our wedding day.
You mean you dropped it because it's what you asked for? Sorry, that's the last time I'll say that.
My husband, however, was also confused on why she wore that one and asked her about it without me even having to tell him I was uncomfortable. She responded with, well, your wife wanted such a big princess wedding. I thought I'd wear this one because it follows the theme more. Don't tell me she's upset about it. She's the one who said, come in your nicest clothes. And this is my nicest dress.
Pretty telling that OP hasn't said anything yet. The husband brought it up, and then she immediately was like, oh, don't tell me your wife is upset. She wanted her wife to be upset. She wanted OP to be upset.
But isn't that also exactly what OP had just said? Where it's
but
like,
OP never expressed it. OP never expressed it.
Right, but the dress she was going to marry my husband in is nicer than the one she wore.
No, but I'm not saying like her reasoning is necessarily wrong. I'm saying that she said immediately, the first thing that she said to OP's husband was, oh, don't tell me that she's upset.
Well, of course. Of course. But she's on brand for your theme.
I don't know.
She's on
It's a tough
brand
one.
for ballroom.
Why are you defending her so hard, Dakota?
If she didn't ask for it, I wouldn't have to.
If you love her so much, why don't you just marry her in her dress?
I think she's wrong for doing it. I don't think she's right for trying to like guilt the husband into whatever she's trying to do.
Yeah.
To worm her way back in is foolish and not going to work, but it'd be like if you got mad at someone for wearing a red dress to your wedding when you said everyone should wear red. Then you're like, why are you wearing red?
But I think the point is that OP hasn't said anything yet, Like, yes,
What do you mean?
she's internally angry. She has not told anyone that she's angry.
Wait, yeah.
Well, let's see it. Let's see if Opie gets
Yes.
angry. Opie says, I feel like I'm not allowed to be upset, even though I am. Oh. And I know that this is my fault, but the whole thing has left a really bad taste in my mouth. I would have never been okay with her wearing that one if I had known she was going to, and I feel like she should have asked. I keep telling myself it's not that big of a deal, and during the daytime when I'm distracted, I don't even think about it, but I've always been a night owl and makes me feel crappy every time I think about it before I fall asleep. Wow, this is staying on Opie's
She
mind.
must have looked real good. Sorry you got outshined.
Ouch.
Oops.
That's tough. So now I'm here complaining on Reddit like a loser, and I feel pathetic. Oh, don't say that, OP. But we do have an update. We're about halfway through this story, but many more in this episode. Dakota. It is on her mind every time she goes to sleep. Do we reach out and say something? If you're OP.
To who?
To
A past version of myself?
To Kate.
And I go, hey, first of all, let's not invite anyone's ex-fiancé to the wedding. First move. Didn't marry you. I'm marrying this other person. You're not coming.
Yeah.
Person I was going to marry.
Yep.
And yeah, then also if you make wear your wedding dress part of the dress code, and then one of the ex-fiancés in question wears her beautiful wedding dress she was going to use for your husband, and then you go, I feel bad. You need to just look in the mirror. That's what you need to do. Look in the mirror and go, I did this. And slowly chip away at that until you're okay with it.
What say you, Sophia?
I think that, yeah, maybe if we had had a little bit of hindsight, could have maybe seen this coming. However, I think trying to be solution oriented, I think that you should talk to your husband about this and say, yeah, that was weird, right? That was strange that she
Yes.
brought up that, does it bother your wife before I even mentioned anything? And maybe we don't continue a relationship with this person.
I do think that it's not a huge logical gap for her to be like, is your wife upset? At
However,
the weird wedding where all these women are wearing wedding dresses and you're her ex-fiance, it's like, is she upset?
but if it's not a huge logical gap, then why didn't she ask before? Why didn't she make
Because
that
she was
logical?
told. She's like,
I don't know.
think-
I'm sorry.
am
I think it is pretty self-explanatory that you don't wear the dress that you were gonna wear with
of course.
the groom of a different wedding.
In every other wedding story we've read, this would be immediately the most unhinged thing you could
But
ever
she's
do.
got two
except
wedding dresses.
the invitation said, hey, by the way, wear your wedding dress.
She's using that. She's using that as a tool, I think, to be able to wear the other wedding dress, which again, on
Is
paper,
the nicer one, though.
it
Ah,
is.
that's what she's saying. We don't know that.
OP said that. OP agrees.
But like, put yourself in Kate's shoes. Would you be like, okay, yes, I do technically have a nicer dress, but I'm not gonna wear the dress that I was gonna marry her now husband in.
Right.
Like,
True. That's
I'll just do the wedding dress.
Pretty bold move. However, I would just not be inviting ex-fiancés to the wedding. I don't know. It's like
Also that. Yes.
Yes.
it's like I can't even think of an example. It's
Yeah.
like it's jumping in the mud puddle and then going, where'd all this mud come from? You signed up for this.
I do think it's a one point I will make is this is not her fiance or ex-fiance. This is her husband's ex-fiance. So
Look, I also want to
she
make
didn't
it clear.
invite her.
I'm seeing comments and people are like, I'm not understanding her underhanded mentality. I do. I get it. I don't approve of her doing it, but it's like I can't call her an a-hole because it was literally the uniform.
Yeah, I can call her an a-hole.
Yeah. You know what? I think I will go a-hole because she's
It's
using
weird. It's
she's
goofy.
using the rules as a weapon.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
that's what it is. Yeah, even though again, technically it was technically okay, morally not okay. Someone said in chat. Yeah, I think yeah. But it's hard. But I don't think OP. It's hard to like let OP get mad at her, I guess, quote unquote, because not let OP get mad at her, but like she did follow the rules. So
You literally set up like a crap buffet for yourself, and then you said, "Why does this taste so bad?" It's you did it.
To be fair, she didn't specifically say everyone wear a wedding dress. She said outshine me.
Yeah, and she was like, "Do it. Wear your wedding dress."
Yeah, and she said, yeah, married people wear your wedding dresses.
and that's their
stuff.
shiniest dress.
Sure.
we have an update, ladies and gentlemen. Let's dive into it. Hello, guys. Here's the update. So I talked to my husband about it this morning, and when I brought it up, he immediately let out a sigh of relief. He said, I didn't know how to bring it up because you didn't seem bothered, but when I saw her in that dress, I thought it was very weird that she wore that one. He went on to say that he even considered asking her to leave because he thought it was rude, but because I had no reaction to the dress, he thought that I either didn't care or didn't recognize it. But either way, I do wonder how she recognized it, but besides the point. Either way, if I wasn't bothered, he didn't want to disturb my peace of mind by punting her out. We discussed and we're going to have a talk with her, not just about the dress, but about her treatment of me in general.
I'm sorry. This is just so ridiculous to me. Because imagine you do kick her out for wearing that dress, and then the conversation becomes, "Wow, OP really kicked her out because she outshined her. She really asked to be outshined and then kicked out the girl who outshined her."
I think there's a
So you
difference
lose no matter
between
what.
outshining and wearing the dress that you were gonna wear with her fiance.
Bottom line, if there's any situation in which any of your wedding goers wearing their wedding dress is going to actually upset you instead of be like this cool little fun theme thing that you're doing, don't do it. Or don't invite your husband's ex-fiance.
But we have to invite all of our exes.
Your
we
fault.
have to do it.
Squarely your fault. I cannot be mad at Katie. I can't.
I can be mad at Katie.
Go ahead.
I can be mad.
I think I'm a
I
little,
can
I'm a
think
little mad
she's
at
a
Katie.
goofy. She's a goofy for doing this.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
a goofy move. It was on the invitation.
It is true. It was on the invitation. She followed the rules. She followed the rules, ladies and gentlemen. And explained that going forward, she will not be a friend in our lives. Cutting off.
Good.
After this talk, I decided to let it go and focus on my new marriage. This was a small thing, and now, after I've talked it out with my husband, I feel kind of silly I let it bother me this much, I'm at peace. She will no longer be in our lives, and that is enough for me. Someone said, you gave her the chance to wear the dress her dad got her and gave her as a gift. That was kind of a moment for me because no matter what her intentions were, that is true, and I'm glad that she got to have that moment.
Oh, I see. So it was kind of like a moment. She's like, oh, wait. I guess that is kind of special. Huh. Which, okay.
Right,
Yeah,
'cause
whatever you need to do to get to okay with this
Yeah.
is whatever you need to do.
Yeah, I guess it's because her dad passed away and it's like, oh, I'm wearing this. Yeah, he
Right.
gave me. Right. End of update. The rest of this is just answering questions and explaining what the wedding looked like. We do have more. A commonly asked question is, how did we even know what the dress looked like? I said it in a few comments, but I've seen it a couple of times before in her closet. Usually when my friends, I was wondering that too. Usually when my husband's friends group hangs out, the guys all get ready at one of their places and all the girls get ready at one of our places. Then we all meet up to wherever we're going, whether that's a pub crawl, a concert, a music festival, etc., etc. Kate hosts pretty regularly, and it's during those times that I've seen it in her closet while she looks for something to wear. And when she got married to Gerald, she put her other wedding dress right next to the high school one. As for my husband, I asked him about that today, and he said when they broke up, Kate asked if he wanted to see the dress since there was no point in hiding anymore, and he said yes. Wow, and he remembered that dress from like 15 years ago from seeing it once.
Must have been a pretty stunning.
Is that suspicious, chat?
No, I
Is
don't.
that suspicious, chat?
I think not.
I think maybe, chat. What do we think? And then when they told their friends the news, the friends also wanted to see the dress, so she put it on for them too. And ladies and gentlemen, Opie said that the updates were over, but we've got update number 2.
Opie's a dirty little fibber.
Ooh, little liar. Pretty little liar. Hi, so I don't know if anyone still cares or still remembers of my post, but I thought I'd make another update here. Before I go in, I would just like to make a disclaimer that these are all things my husband and I heard through mutual friends / connections, so who knows how much of this information has been dramatized for gossip.
Hearsay. We've got hearsay.
We've got a whole lot.
Let's go.
Through the grapevine, organic. When my husband talked to, I think I called her Kate in this post, she reacted as expected and started calling me a jealous and controlling wife to anyone who would listen. We didn't let her bother us though. Neither I nor my husband knew this, but apparently Kate and her husband Gerald have been struggling for quite some time and have been going to couples therapy. Ooh. So did Kate see this as her like absolute Hail Mary, just wear the dress to their wedding, and she's so stunning that Opie's husband is like, I just got to marry you right now. I got to dump OP on the spot and just marry you because you look so gosh darn delicious.
Nah, dude. She simply followed the instructions. Okay. Here's an example, right?
Okay, one example. Let's go.
You throw a party, you say, everybody bring your dog.
Okay.
Everybody bring your dog. Bring all your dogs.
Okay, great.
Everybody brings their dogs, and all their dogs are maybe a little small.
Mm-hmm.
They're like little small, medium-sized dogs.
Yep.
And then you have a friend who brings like the Great Bernard dog. Just a massive dog.
Big boy.
And everyone's like, whoa, look at this person pulling up with their dog like everybody else was told to do. Just because it's a different dog. Now this person's wrong. And regardless of if the vibe of a bunch of Chihuahuas and one St. Bernard makes any sense or not, you asked for this. So I cannot, in clear conscience. Look, clearly she's being scummy. It's a scumbag move by Katie.
It is.
So I don't know. Again, look in that mirror.
Look in that mirror.
I'm gonna find who's responsible. That's where you look.
I would say she like basically allowed it to happen. I'll give you that. She set the stage for it to happen for sure.
Dude, if I have an ex-fiance, she's not coming to my actual wedding. I don't care how long it's been. She's not gonna be there.
Not gonna happen.
No. Especially if the wardrobe is wear your wedding dress.
We shall see. We shall see what happens to Kate and OP.
God dang it.
When my husband cut her off, Gerald sat down and asked him if he really thought that Kate wore that dress out of spite, and my husband answered truthfully and said yes. We thought Gerald asked because he thought we were being ridiculous, but I guess he was wondering the same thing himself because he brought up that whole wedding dress thing in their therapy. Uh-oh, now we're teaming up with whole Gerald over here.
Gerald, spelled in the most annoying way I've ever seen.
That's
Gerald.
true. In their most recent session, it's being said that Kate finally admitted that she always thought of my husband as the one guy who got away, and that she wore the dress out of spite and not just because it was her fanciest or because of sentimental value.
Shocking.
We figured it out. We've got it, ladies and gentlemen.
Look, yes, that's the intent. And it still doesn't matter to me.
What?
It still doesn't matter.
She could have chose the other dress,
Because
dog.
you could have just
intent makes
not.
you the a-hole.
But if she showed up and she was uninvited, a-hole. If this wasn't part of the vibe, a-hole.
I'm gonna change your little example.
Please,
Uh-oh.
please.
This is like if you throw a party and everyone invites the little chihuahuas and you have a Saint Bernard that you know likes to eat up little chihuahuas. You're like, ooh, this dog loves to eat up little chihuahuas. And then you bring the dog and it eats up all the little chihuahuas.
Okay.
And then you're like, you told me to bring the dog.
So what if on the instructions it said, I bet you think your big dog can eat our chihuahuas, but it can't. I dare you to try. And then you show up with your Saint Bernard and everyone goes, whoa, look at this monster. Dude, I'm sorry.
That's not what it said.
You wrote it on the invitation.
No, it
She said, wear your best dress and outshine me.
I think it would have been like, bring your biggest dogs.
So
Any big
regardless,
dog is fine.
regardless of Katie's intent at this point, which I agree is wrong and bad, the fact that the entire setup was do this thing to me, it's just don't invite your husband's ex-fiance. Because then she's going to wear a
I
dress.
do agree with that part.
Like, so what are we doing? I'm more upset at the people who set this whole thing up rather than the chaotic little gremlin in the mix that we all knew. We all should have known was going to do something like this. But why did we give them the silver platter to do it on and then get mad about it?
All right, keep going.
You invited the vampire into your house. That's what it is. You invited the vampire into your home and you're saying, why is the vampire draining the blood out of my veins?
Well, we've got more to this story.
Here we go.
Her husband Gerald then asked her if she would go back to my husband if he decided to divorce me. She said no, but apparently she hesitated, and Gerald knew that she was lying. Again, that is what my husband and I have been told, so I don't know how much of that is accurate, but it's being said from multiple people that is what Gerald is telling anyone who will ask. Whoa, Gerald's spilling these secrets.
Gerald's spilling beans, dude.
Gerald spilling the jar. What I do know for sure is that Gerald is filing for divorce. Oh no. He's already served her and is taking her to court in a few months as she's trying to fight to have ownership of some of his assets. Since this all came out, I've had a load of apologies from people who said rude things about me or stopped being friends with me after my husband and I agreed to cut off Kate. Most people who had known her for a while believed what she was saying about me and no longer wanted to associate themselves with me after causing unnecessary high school drama. Their tunes have obviously changed, but I'm not interested in forming relationships with anyone who gossiped or didn't believe me. The whole thing was so dramatic for no reason.
That always really bothers me because it's like, get in front of it then. I don't know. It's like being like, well, I just won't say anything. And then everyone gets all mad and upset. It's like, yeah, because you should have said something.
Yeah, it's tough though, because it's like sometimes you're like, okay, I don't want to I don't even though they wronged me, I don't want to put them on blast. I just want to move on. But then the other person goes and
just reach out to people, DMs. Yeah, you don't make it a public war or anything. You just
hey,
do
just to let
some
you know.
level of damage control because just all pure passiveness is then it just gets more messed up because you let this person run around and say whatever they want.
It does run the risk of that every time. It does run the risk of that. So anyways, I just thought I'd write this for if any of you are still curious for more info, but on to some pictures. I'm not going to post any, but I will explain how it looked for those who wanted to know. So firstly, lots of people showed up in wedding dresses, and that was absolutely beautiful. One thing my friends from college did was a 50s Marilyn Monroe type glam, and it was a killer. One of the staff was able to find a red carpet, and we took a bunch of black and white photos on them. I had about 5 girls wear their quince dresses, which was gorgeous. Finally, some parents decided to dress their little girls up in actual princess costumes, which I thought was really cute. And by the way, you know what the cutest thing in the world is, Dakota?
Yes.
Our podcast.
Indeed.
You can binge over 2,000 episodes by going to Spotify, Apple, iHeart, and just searching OK Storytime. Binge to your heart's delight. Never run out of content. I basically can promise you that. You start today. But ladies and gentlemen, we are so close to the finale of this story, but we got way more in store for this episode, so stay tuned. The guys also dressed really well too. One guy did a sequin tux. Quite a few went for a rock star type suit. My husband's best man went for this really gorgeous red velvet tux.
Ooh.
And my dress was this really shimmery, really poofy ball gown type dress with a flower design on the veil that I got custom made for me. Then I had it designed where I could actually unattach the poofy part of the dress for the reception. And by doing that, it turned into a long, sleek, white, shimmery dress with a leg slit. That does sound like a fire dress. And that is it.
Now describe Kate's dress.
Yeah, she didn't. Oh, it was too hot.
And
It was
Kate's
too hot.
dress was just, imagine really all of this just comes down to she's just mad that her dress was just excellent.
She's just too hot.
She like doesn't eat all the stuff about like, and she's the ex-fiance and all this stuff. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, really, she's just like, she really did look great in that dress. And I did not like it.
It's just undeniable. It's just undeniable. But
yes.
you know what's the only thing that's hotter than Kate in her dress?
You.
This next story.
My wife revealed our son's crush after being told not to.
You tattled on your own son?
I, 37 male, have 3 kids, 14 male, 11 female, and 8 female, with my wife, who is 37 female. Our son, who we'll call Sonny, is in grade 9. My wife has been asking him if he has a crush on this grade 10 girl, Tina, 15 female, who he's been hanging out with. Sonny said that it's not her who he likes, it's a different girl. A 9th grader who we'll call Chris, 14 female. By the way, this comes from Best Host 6822, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. My wife asked Sonny if Chris knows. He said no and that it's a secret. My wife asked why. He said that his friends will make fun of him. My wife asked why. He said that it's because Chris is the heaviest girl in their grade. She has terrible skin and she is a tomboy. One Saturday, Sonny had friends over. It was Sonny plus 5 other boys with Chris, Tina, and another girl. At one point, my wife just walks into the living room and she tells Chris that Sonny has a huge crush on her. What? She just comes out and is like, Chris, I've got big news.
I literally can't imagine my spot being blown up like that at 14 by my mom.
It was so uncomfortable after that. Chris got up and just walked out of the house. The kids barely said anything and they left earlier than expected. Sonny didn't say anything to me nor his mom, but he made sure to slam every door he used. Later that night in bed, I called my wife a knucklehead. She said that she was trying to prevent our son from becoming a bully. I told her that there was a better way, and then she asked what if one of our daughters were in Chris's position. Then she asked if we went to the same high school, would I hide my feelings for her? She ended up sleeping in the guest bedroom. So am I the a-hole? There are some relevant comments. One person says, I don't get how Sonny is potentially being a bully. He likes a girl that is heavy, terrible skin, and a tomboy. He doesn't want his friends to know because he will be bullied and likely Chris too. I think he's protecting her. Did I miss something? OP responds, my wife probably got reminded of how kids treated her back in the day. She was a Chris herself. That commenter responds, was anyone treating Chris unkindly? OP says, to my knowledge, I'm not exactly sure. My son didn't say that anyone was making fun of Chris. Chris was friends with some of the popular kids of grade 9 and 10. And this commenter responds again, I think that your wife just put a target on Chris's back and your son's as well. I am so sorry. Wife really needs to apologize and stop creating a problem where none exists. OP says, I don't know what's going on with my son's social circle because he's giving us the silent treatment. I know it's just him and Tina at Tina's house right now. My son didn't even tell us that he was going. He just left and then asked Tina's mom to tell us that he's there. So the friends are not together.
Of course he didn't tell you. You would probably tell all the girls he has a crush on them or something.
Dude, he's literally not going to share any more secrets with you guys.
And it's your wife's fault. And she needs to own it and apologize before it gets better. It'll never get better if she can't do that.
It's just projecting her own high school, middle school experiences.
Which is sad.
Not the way to parent.
You got to eat the crow, dude, and admit that you did it wrong.
Another commenter says there is no innocent or rational explanation. Also, when you asked her why she did it, her response was literally to stop him becoming a bully. It wasn't, oh, I thought if she knew he liked her, it might break the ice and help them get together. There was zero good intentions there. She made that clear with her answer of why she did it. Even if she's been bullied as a kid for weight and skin issues, why would she then bully a kid who was like her? Sadly, sometimes kids who are bullied or mistreated they try to get their sense of power and control back by hurting those weaker than them. They want the victims to feel what they felt, or they become the opposite and are kind and understanding and wouldn't put anyone through what they went through. I know this seems like a big leap for what may just be one incident, but it's a big incident. Doing that in front of 9 of his friends was like ultimate savage and cruel. She wanted to humiliate your son in a huge way, and that girl. No loving mother would do that in front of 9 of their son's friends, including the girl that he liked. You need to talk to your son about whether she's treated him badly in any other ways, physically or emotionally or mentally, when you're not home. Because that isn't the actions of a loving mother. If she didn't intend to cause upset, she'd gone after the girl when she went to leave and apologized if she upset or embarrassed her and said that it wasn't her intention. She just wanted her to know that he liked her and she thought it might help the conversation get started, etc. She'd have made sure that the girl wasn't upset and apologized. And I bet that she has not apologized to your son either, because she's not sorry. She doesn't see anything wrong in what she did. And that is the serious issue here. There's light teasing with your kid about your crush or girlfriend, but to humiliate them like that and the girl is disgusting. You would need to do some talking with your son about their relationship and be his support and have his back on this one. Your wife is a major a-hole. She should be on the couch for a while at a minimum.
That was a very aggressive comment.
Still way too much.
If we want to talk about like not overreacting to things, I feel like this comment was a little bit of an overreaction.
Well, it's not like she should be on the couch for weeks over this. Just own the mistake. Don't make it worse. Don't compound it. She went in, a lot of big energy. You know, she walked in and like dropped what were essentially like the nuclear bomb code, like the top secret information.
OP responds to this comment, I'm starting to get more cynical of my wife's motives. I made her aware of this post an hour ago and crickets from her. I'm trying my best to not think that my wife wanted to just humiliate our son just for the sake of it. That aggressive commenter says, you need to get more used to it though, because that's what it is. Has she even tried to apologize to him? Has she even tried to understand why what she did was wrong? Has she shown an ounce of regret or remorse? I'm guessing all the answers are no. Because she doesn't care that she's upset, hurt, and humiliated her son. She doesn't care that she's hurt and humiliated and bullied a 14-year-old girl. She was not bullying a 14-year-old girl to the point that she walked straight out of the house and likely cried for ages. Okay, I'm going to stop this commenter.
Stop.
This is like the epitome of the
negative confirmation bias, painting the worst possible picture of what her intentions could be. This is not someone who's trying to slam dunk her own child or bully other people. It's probably someone who grew up with bullying and has a very complicated relationship with all of these things. And she probably thought that was an effective technique.
Yeah. OP responds that the incident happened last Saturday. No apology yet. Today, I showed her this post. There were some specific comments that I let her read. Still no apology.
But apology to who? To you? It needs to be to your son. You don't need an apology. Your son needs an apology. That's it.
If I get really, really, really cynical, maybe my wife wanted to punish our son for being one of the popular kids and for keeping it a secret that he likes the so-called awkward girl. I don't want to think about my wife that way. Ocean Spice says, I don't have much to say other than your wife seems like a truly repulsive person. And it's disappointing that you are unwilling or unable to see how horrible this was. She just hurt a lot of people, notably your son and Chris, but also everyone else who had to be around for that little stunt of hers. OP responds, well, at this point, I'm questioning if I really know who my wife is. This is so dramatic. I guess that's all I need to say about my wife. And that same commenter says it's pretty clear that you don't. OP says it's extra disappointing given that she knows what it's like to be bullied. Some of what I said in my replies to you are some of the things that I wanted to say in the DM because my wife could be reading my comments.
She didn't bully anybody. She was probably trying to be like, if he just says it, then they'll be together. And instead of like, doing the right thing, which would be like coaching him to be able to come forward and say it himself and getting him into a place where he feels safe and comfortable to do that with Chris. She just like did it herself, which is wrong. You don't do that. It doesn't make her an irredeemable monster. What are we talking about?
Yeah, exactly. I think it's just the internet is just so negative and it's just so filling in the gaps. We don't need to be this unforgiving and this aggressive when we haven't really had a conversation about it, or at least we don't know about a conversation, you know?
You don't need to be at the place of like, do I even know who my wife is? It's like, do you think this random commenter on the internet knows your wife better than you? Because if that's the case, we just need to go full like therapy, like learn how to communicate with each other. What are we doing?
Yeah. OP has a bit of a back and forth with this commenter, Ocean Spice. Ocean Spice says, why are you still trying to not offend her? OP says, she's still the mother of my children, and I need her to be a co-parent. I hope that she loves our children, and I hope she wants them to be happy. I hope she realizes that she hurt our son and Chris. I hope she knows that our children love her, and I love her. What happened to her in the past was terrible, but she shouldn't let it ruin the good things that she has now. We got an update posted on the same post, just a few hours update, and this is a sad update. The information is sad, and the fact that I had to hear about this from Tina's mom is sad. Oh no! To nobody's surprise, Chris was indeed humiliated. Chris at first thought that it was a cruel prank. Then, when Sunny confirmed it, she questioned why his mom would announce it like that in front of all their friends. Sunny took the honest route, and he told Chris why he didn't want to tell her. Chris's feelings are hurt, and she said that she can't like someone who was so embarrassed for people to know that he likes her. Our son is even more upset with us. What my wife did showed my son in a bad light to most of his friends. Some of them thought that it was a prank. Some of them think that something is wrong with my wife mentally. The people who my son is talking to the most about the situation are Tina and Tina's mom. We do have another update. Hopefully this one turns out better.
But, you know, like, that is such a valid point. I didn't even think about that. It's like these parents should have been like, hey, so if you do like this Chris girl, it's like, and nothing else really on the outside of that matters. It may feel like, you know, oh, like if all these people like know that I don't know how it'll impact me and like my social standing. And it's like, if you're thinking about that, then you're not. You don't really want to date that person. You're not ready. You don't know.
Or you just have things to learn. She just obviously got very mad thinking that he was like the bad people that she grew up with. And she wanted to like punish him for that in a way and knew that this would be a sort of punishment, like saying like exposing it and then being like he has to deal with the consequences. But when you're a parent and your kids are doing something wrong, obviously I'm not a parent, so
he wasn't even really doing anything wrong. He just had a crush on a girl.
If we're considering that, like, okay, if you like this girl, then you should be proud of it and you shouldn't hide it. You know, that's a learning moment and you should teach them that. But we do have another update. I, 37 male, have some good news and some bad news. My wife has read the original post, the edit, and all of my comments. I also showed my wife certain comments. She read a ton of the comments on her own. I don't know if she'll read this update post because she said that she hates Reddit and will never go back on Reddit for as long as she lives. However, she did agree to individual therapy and couples therapy. Back in middle school and high school, my wife was bullied a lot for her weight and acne. She still struggles with her weight and acne, and I think she looks beautiful. What I've seen from her personality recently is another story. Last night, my wife said that our son, Sunny, had body shamed his crush, Chris, when he gave the reasons why his friends may make fun of him for liking Chris. To my wife, Sunny merely acknowledging that Chris is heavy and has acne is body shaming, even though he also calls her pretty.
I'm going to pause here because she's upset about that. Guess who set up the circumstances for that to happen? It was you, Mom. You made that conversation happen that way.
Yeah.
So be mad at yourself.
Also, like, he's saying that other people would body shame, not her.
Right. And it's like, well, it's like the transitive property. He's saying that they would body shame him. And so you just needed to have a private conversation with your son about like what it means to like be in a relationship with somebody and like somebody. And instead of doing that, you just like threw him into the shark-infested waters.
It also poses the question like, oh, if you think that because he's mentioning that and like that's a reason that he'd be embarrassed because other people would body shame. If he's mentioning that but it still calls her pretty, is it you that's body shaming? Perhaps.
Right. Where does that logic train stop?
My wife said that she told Chris that Sunny likes her in front of everyone because my wife was afraid that if Sunny keeps his feelings for Chris a secret, that he'll end up with his friend Tina. who's 15 female. I've been learning a lot about what is going on in our son's social circle, not from my son, but from Tina's mom. The things my son gave Tina's mom permission to tell me. Tina has been working hard to fix her friend group. Tina has convinced Chris to forgive my son and to go on a date with him. Okay, well that's good. Also, when the friend group wants a house to hang out, they'll do it at Tina's house. None of the kids want to come near my wife. One of the boys who was there that day told his parents, and he's not even allowed to go to our house. What? That's crazy.
So I wonder how it was said. Like, it must have been like a viscerally uncomfortable moment then.
Yeah, it sounds like it. Like, I wonder, did she just walk in and was like, Sunny has a crush on Chris, and he won't tell her.
Maybe her like bullying experience, maybe it caused her to regress in that moment. And she went back to like, like the teenage state in her own head.
The whole way that she's been talking about this, it sounds like she is talking as if she's one of the teenagers.
Therapy, probably great idea. Unresolved childhood bullying issues. That's rough.
Tina's mom said that her house is always welcome to my son if he needs a safe place to stay. I made sure to quickly tell my wife that Sunny and Chris will go on a date later in the week. I wasn't sure what would be my wife's reaction, and I wanted to get it over with before our son came home. My wife basically said that she told me so. She said that Reddit and I were wrong. My wife is claiming victory for getting Sunny and Chris together. My wife claims that our son will thank her later. She is living in her own little world. By the way, you can live in our little world on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, or whatever your favorite podcast app is. Just search OK Storytime. We've got full episodes with more stories just like this one. Come join us in our world over here.
The mom's being like, they got together because of me. It's like, no, they got together despite you. Like, in all actuality, you kind of dealt a death blow to their potential, and now it's Tina who's running defense, trying to fix everything.
There's a little bit more to the story. This evening, I finally had a significant conversation with my son, Sunny. During the conversation, he wasn't referring to his mom as mom, nor my mom, but as your wife. He said that when he wants to talk to an adult about stupid teenager stuff, he'll talk to Tina's mom. Sunny said that he doesn't want to tell me something, then give me the burden of keeping it a secret from my wife. Our son is continuing his radio silence with his mom. When I think of my wife's well-being, I have to look at it in the context of my co-parent instead of my life partner. I need to watch her and make sure that I'll protect our kids from her if needed. She was a stable mom, but somehow she morphed into a bratty teenager just because she heard some teenage drama. I hope my wife gets stable again, but my kids are and will always be number one. There are some comments. Comment number 1 says she thinks that she won because they are going on a date, but hasn't yet realized that her son now hates her. She won, all right. Someone responds, her son hates her, Chris hates her, Tina hates her, and the entire friend group hates her. All their parents hate her. The only thing that she won was a one-way trip to the nursing home from Happy Gilmore. And that is the end of that story.
I mean, yeah, your wife is completely delusional right now. And I hope that therapy helps her like move through the trauma from her youth in a way that, because again, all she really needs to do here is fully apologize to her son and own that she made a mistake, which is the exact opposite of what she's doing right now. Like, she's taking a victory lap.
So insanely delusional.
Insufferable.
Yeah. That's very hard. And obviously, like, if your child tells you something that they deliberately say, like, yeah, this is a secret, don't tell them. Now, obviously, which we knew would happen, he does not trust his mom. And unfortunately, the dad is involved in that too. So it's like, the worst thing that you can do is make it so your kids don't feel like they can talk to you about stuff. It's on you, wife. I hope that you eventually figure that out. But that is the end of that story.
I chose my family over my fiance, and now I regret it.
Ooh, yeah. Sometimes you make the wrong choice.
My family hates my SO. Ever since day one, they have not liked him and have been less than kind to him. Some of the worst instances include filing a police report saying that he physically harmed me and slandered him on social media. My significant other had asked me several times to help stand up for him. However, I never could when it came to my family. I just couldn't stand up to them. By the way, this comes from user stupidchoices99. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So we went on holiday not too long ago. While we were there, he told me that he was questioning if we should still get married or even be in a relationship. He said he can't be with someone who would repeatedly repeatedly let their parents do this to us, and that if I didn't stand up for him the next time it happened, he would leave me. I was in tears at this point, but I knew what he meant and what he needed from me, so I agreed. 2 weeks after we arrived, I got a text on my phone. The phone was in the bedroom. I asked my significant other to pass me the phone, and he went away to get it. He came back a couple of minutes later and said it was my sister and handed me the phone. I checked the text message. It was a small rant about how on X she saw my SO and some girl making out at some shop, which is impossible, as we were on holiday during the date she mentioned. I texted her back, okay. About 20 or 30 minutes later, my partner asked me what she said. I told him, and he asked me what I said. I told him. He told me he cannot do this anymore.
Fair. You're not standing up for him at all.
Yeah. I should have said no, he didn't. We were on holiday during that time and asked why she's so determined to make us break up. He then broke up with me. I stayed at his place for a few more days before moving back in with my mom and sister. I've been here a week and a half. They treat me like dirt. They're always going on about how I can find someone better and listing all his bad points and just generally trash talking him all the time. I don't want to do this anymore. I know I should have stuck up for him. I know I was in the wrong, and I threw away our 8-year relationship. But I want him back so badly. What are the red flags, though? What are they? What are the green flags? What are the red flags? What are the information? I want to know. I want to know more about this guy.
Yeah.
Because maybe your parents are right. Maybe this guy does suck. I don't know. I don't know anything about him.
But I mean, probably not if they're the ones lying about him cheating.
That is true. That's a good point. Sister's already immediately lying.
Yeah.
I want him back so badly. I want him to cuddle into me at night. I want to fall asleep on his chest, which is extremely flirtatious behavior. Even his swinging on his chair that drove me crazy. I miss it so much. I want my fiancé back. Does anyone have any ideas on what I can do to win him back and show him I care? He's blocked me on social media and my phone number, so the only way I can contact him is if I get on a bus and go to his house 2 hours away. Does this seem like a good idea? No, it does not. Thanks for the help. And there's an edit. Just to confirm, this behavior from the family only started in the last couple of years after our 2 sons passed away. It was not 8 years of constant badgering. While they never liked him, they were civil to one another for 6 years. Also, as for the accusations of physical harm, the police came to our house and did a checkup, and we told them that it was not true. They believed us, and my family got into a lot of trouble for this. It never went to the courts, but they also never got police involved again. Also, my partner was never in any capacity. It just did not happen. He wouldn't even get rough during the horizontal mambo, as he thought he would hurt me. And there is an update.
I'm sorry, if your family is accusing your partner of hurting you with no proof, actively lying, it seems like they're purposely lying. Why would you? I cannot compute not defending your partner.
Even just like why are you lying?
Yeah, why are you lying? That's all he wanted.
I don't think you have a route back to this short of literally
cutting off your entire family.
Cutting off your whole family, and even then it might not work.
Yeah.
Because it'll just be like, well, how long is that going to last?
Yeah. It's like, why didn't you do this when we were in a relationship?
Why did it take me leaving you for you to like wake up and do this? It's going to be every time we have an impasse, I'm going to have to leave you for you to like see my perspective. So update, I got on the bus to go and see him. I ended up not leaving a message for my family as pointed out by a commenter. If I did that and got rejected, I would have nowhere to go. I did, however, have a suitcase with me. Some people said this might make him feel like he had to take me in or I would be homeless. Taking this into account.
Oh, okay. I thought that OP was like, so I did just that.
So I did that.
I wanted to guilt him.
Taking this into account, I actually hid the suitcase outside under a bridge just out the back of his house, but 100% out of view due to the layout of the building. Hope you didn't run into any trickster riddle people down there. Now, for the part I'm sure you are all waiting for, I got myself prepared, stopped crying, and went to his door. I rang the bell and nothing. He wasn't in. I waited half an hour and got nothing. However, I did speak to our cat through the letterbox. A couple of our neighbors asked me what I was doing, and rather than admitting the truth, I said I was locked out of the house and was waiting on SO. I should mention, it's not unusual for him to come home at 12 to 1 a.m. from work. He has to commute to work, which is why it's so late. He is getting a promotion to a senior position at the company, and as such, he is putting in 200% effort. That being said, I was freezing at this point, so I went to his mom's house. Me and his mom are very close. We go shopping every day, spend 3 to 4 hours together a day. She was even there in the room for the birth of our twins. I got to her house and she ripped me a new one, basically reiterating almost everything that was said in the original post. By the end of this, we were both just a mess. Also, it turns out he didn't block me. Instead, he smashed his phone, laptop, TV, and a couple of other things after I left and is waiting on a new phone and laptop to arrive. He has never broken anything before, so I was really surprised by that, especially his laptop, which was a custom-made thing that cost over $3,000 in American dollars. His mom told me what I could try to do to win him back. At this point, it's 2 a.m. and his mom gives me a lift down to his house. The lights are on, so he's in, and his mom wishes me well and leaves. Okay, so like, before we read what happens, what are you doing if you're OP on the stoop?
Waiting for
Like, what is your plan? You're like,
To catch him off guard?
I'm gonna get him back. What do you do? What do you say?
Well, I would have fully had the conversation with the parents and the family, because even if, they say, "Oh, I never want to see you again," you need to do that for for like just bettering the rest of your life.
Yeah, you don't want to depend on people who want nothing to do with you
Exactly.
based on something as silly as like who you're dating.
Yeah. No, I think
Especially
that you
when
go,
they're not bad news. That's the other part.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think I would have gone to the family and had the whole conversation so that I could then go to him and say, "Hey, I made actual change. I recognize that you were right."
Yeah.
Because
true.
right now you got nothing. You have done nothing to change. You have not addressed any of the issues that he brought up. So why would he take you back?
It's true. I get to the door. I knock, and it's the longest 20 seconds of my life. However, he comes to the door, and he opens it. He looks at me.
I look at him.
I look at him. He looks
at me.
really bad, like really, really bad. I don't know how long passed, but it felt like forever. We just stared at each other. I'm trying so hard not to cry, and I say hi, and he doesn't say anything. Instead, he comes forward and hugs me.
Oof.
I burst into tears at this point and became a total mess. He bursts into tears and is also a total mess.
Oof. Yeah, this is an 8-year relationship.
This is good, though.
Yeah.
This is good.
Yeah, good start. Good
So
start.
it turns out all you needed to say was hi.
Easy.
Wow. Side note, I have never seen him cry before, not even when our twins passed. He always has this generic look on his face and rarely shows emotion, so this was a big thing. He starts to say he is sorry. I start to say he has nothing to be sorry for and that it's all my fault and how I should have put my foot down with my family. We end up getting into the house. I am honestly surprised the cat didn't run away. She's an indoor cat and the door was open for ages. We get into the house, we get into the living room, and I notice a few brewski cans laying about. I'm sad, but at the same time, now I am livid. See, you may be unaware, but he has a bad medical condition and booze is extremely dangerous for him to consume. At the minimum, it could put him in a crap ton of pain, but the first time he had booze, he spent a month in the ICU. Oh my God.
Wow.
That's how bad it is.
Yeah.
Also, it's how we found out about the condition.
Sure wasn't out when they lost like kids.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, and then they have the family being awful. Oh. It's like,
Yes.
That's tough.
Just
So
bad,
they had like
bad
all these,
around.
they had all these like compounding issues of him dealing with like substance abuse or drinking, and the losing the kids, and then the families, and then it's
It's a lot. I shouted at him a little bit. He says he knows he was stupid to do it, but he just didn't know what else to do. We move on from that pretty quickly. He's in pain, so I get him his morphine tablets to get rid of the pain. Oh my God, well, dang. He's on morphine tablets?
that's so
Oof.
that's dangerous.
Moving on from that, we spend a few hours talking. The end result of that is me telling him I'm sorry for not appreciating him, not showing I cared enough, and taking advantage of his kindness. A lot of people said I should work on myself before asking him out again, so I didn't ask him out. Instead, I explained to him that I plan on working on myself and distancing myself from my family and becoming a better person so that in the future. And then he asked me if I wanted to give it another go. Burst into tears again and said, "Really?" I was so surprised. Going from what I wrote in the original post, I assumed he would never do this, but he said yes, he was, so I said I would want to try again. We went to bed but didn't sleep. Instead, I played with his hair and then played with his back, and he loves it when I play with his back. And we talked all night. I've still not been to sleep yet, but once I post this, I'm going to bed, so I will reply to comments tomorrow. In the morning, we spoke some more. We have spoken more in the last 20 hours or so than in the last year, I'm sure of this. We came up with a plan of action to deal with my family. That involves blocking them on social media, blocking them
Good.
on on my phone.
Good.
Taking out a restraining order if they pester us again, and going no contact.
I honestly think, yeah, you've had like years of them trying to break you guys up, like using not just, being like, being hypercritical, literally trying to accuse him of crimes.
Right.
Crimes.
Like, not just like,
I don't like that man
this
for
is
you.
not kids play.
Yeah.
All right. They're trying to get this man arrested.
Yeah.
So, all of that being said, my SO wanted to give them one more shot to work things out. I said he really didn't have to, and he would be justified to tell me to go no contact, and he said no. He loves his family, and all he wants is for his family to get along with him, and how he wants them there at our future wedding. His dream is the whole family life, house, car, married, 3 kids, etc. White picket fence. So tomorrow, we're going to my mom's house to talk with them. If they don't take this chance, I will be going no contact. If they do take this chance, it will be light contact with them until I can get myself and my relationship into a position that I'm comfortable introducing them into, and it'll be on my time frame. We will also be doing couples counseling to help us get over this. Very smart.
Yeah.
That being said, his family is over the moon. We are back together. At about tea time today, I remembered I had all my belongings outside, and thankfully they are still there, so we got them back into the house.
Nice.
Thank God the troll that lived under the bridge didn't take your stuff. And by the way, you can get full episodes of stories like this back in your life by going to your podcast platform of choice: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen, and search OK Storytime. And there is a little bit more story left
Let's hit
here.
it.
Let's just go ahead and dig in. I like exactly where we're at. Stand up for your partners, people.
Yes.
If people are disparaging your partner for years,
Wrongfully, and you know that they're lying.
call them out. I do not know what's in store for us tomorrow with my family. However, knowing that my SO will be there by my side during it has given me a massive courage boost. If my family wants me in their lives and their future grandchildren, they will also be saying sorry to my SO, a genuine one. If it's not genuine, then that's it. It's over. As well as saying why they don't like him, so we finally know. We will be tackling this as a couple, not just me on my own. I am always going to try my best from here on out to show him how much I appreciate him and how much I love him.
There you go.
And that is the end of that story.
Yeah. Okay.
Mwah, what a perfect little...
Yeah, I mean, we got some, we're making moves in terms of your relationship.
Indeed.
You lose some relationships family wise, but maybe you're better off without them in your life if they're not gonna care about you in a good way. If they're gonna take advantage of you and your partner and try and get your partner arrested, probably not the best people to have in your life.
Probably not. My girlfriend excludes me from her nights out, but her friends' boyfriends are always invited.
Well, maybe you have cooties and they don't.
So, to make a long story short, my girlfriend of nearly 3 years has always had her girls' nights out every 2 or 3 weeks or so, which is perfectly fine because I also had nights where I did stuff with my friends as well. We're all in our mid to late 20s, by the way. By the way, this comes from user Notaro850, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, yesterday, while my girlfriend's friends and her boyfriend hung out at our place, the boyfriend referenced something that happened on Saturday, which was her last night out. I was confused, and after a bit of probing, found out that not only is he a regular on these nights out, but her other 2 friends bring their own boyfriends along as well.
What?
It's just me who has never been asked, nor even informed, that these girls' nights weren't the just need to be with my girls for a bit, relaxing nights as she used to claim. Literally a few weeks ago, we talked about her upcoming night out with them, and she told me something like, sometimes I just really need to be with just the girls.
But it's not, is it? It's never just the girls. It's
Maybe
the
they're
girls and
honorary.
guys. Maybe they're the honorary girls.
Are they honorary girls? Are they girly pop?
I don't know, man.
I doubt it.
Doubt it.
Of course, I asked her once we were alone why she's never brought it up or why I have never been invited, but she just kept claiming that the guys weren't always invited and most of the time they just tagged along. Honestly, I feel pretty alone and disrespected right now. Plus, even now, almost 3 years later, I feel like I am barely in her friend group. I feel like if they were all meeting up anyway, I could have been there and maybe have become friends with them as well. Unlike her, I do invite my girlfriend around to do stuff with my own set of friends a lot. Now it feels like it just wasn't the girls she wanted to see, but rather that she just really didn't want to spend that time with me, while her friends had no problem spending their time together with their boyfriends. I don't really know what to think or what to do. And there are relevant comments. This happened 3 years ago.
Uh-oh. Are we going to get an update? Stay tuned to find out.
Well, I just mean, like, what do you mean I don't know what to do? If there was anything to do, you should have done it 3 years ago.
Wait, so he's telling this story saying 3 years ago this happened?
That's what he just said.
What?
Plus, even now, almost 3 years later, I
What?
feel like I am barely in her friend group. Okay, maybe that was actually in reference to how long they've known each other, period.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe.
Because that's the only thing that makes sense to me.
Yeah.
So 3 years into knowing her, he is still basically a stranger to her friend
To
group.
the friend group.
Okay. Ishin D. Zaul. I think you are entitled to feel bad. She's been masking going out with her friends under the guise of girls' night. There's nothing wrong with her for wanting to go out without you, but the lying part makes it weird and borderline disrespectful. I don't think this is an isolated incident, and you feel hurt because there have been other issues, right? OP says, I don't really know. I mean, everyone has their preferences and their own character. She's always been a bit more cold in the way she acts than my previous partners, but I never thought that she'd feel like she needed this much of a break from me and the relationship as a whole. As I said in my post, I wouldn't have had an issue at all if this was just a girls' night out and if she really did need to have a bit of a break. But she was literally meeting up with her group of friends and their boyfriends. I genuinely can't imagine going out with my extended friend group twice in a row without even asking my girlfriend to be there with me. More often than not, she comes with me. So I just don't really understand why she'd want to separate me from her side of her friends like that. I just don't know how to feel right now. The same commenter replies, you feel hurt, and that's natural. There's nothing wrong with that. When you talk to her, I suggest to focus on the why. Why are you lying? Why did you keep me apart from the group? Why is there a need for a break? This issue overall can be the tip of an iceberg of something much bigger hurting your relationship. Sure, it could be she's just a butt, but in that case, there's not much you can do. Oceana's a being comments, straight up just confront her with the why. Why did I have to find this out? Why wasn't I informed? Why did I have to probe about the girls' night out? It could be nothing. It probably is. But she needs to understand that's not fair to you. Make it clear that it's not a fight and that you just want to clear the air. She's going to get offended though. People are so used to people being fake that speaking directly is seen as aggressive. I wish you luck, fam, and stay strong, my brother, and remember that you're the victim. Don't play the victim card, but keep in mind that you did nothing wrong and you're just wanting to know what you don't know, and this is where it could get hairy. What's most important is why it took so long for you to know these people. Oh, nah, dude, I'm the jealous type, and I would have made a scene. That's probably why I'm single. So, take it with a grain of salt. Very eloquent.
Yeah.
I would have freaked out, which is why I'm single. Anyway,
Good to be
take
self-aware.
that as you may. Maybe I should have properly confronted her. It was already late, so all we did was me asking her the question and her hand waving me away, more or less. I will talk to her again, though. This is really bothering me, if I'm being honest. I love her so much, and I always try to include her and basically just spend more time with her. Finding out that she has been keeping me away from these nights out for whatever reason has really hurt me. All I can think of is this. If she really needs such a break from me and the relationship, while her friends clearly don't, then is it even a relationship she's happy in? A good point.
It is a very good point.
We have an update here, folks.
I really hope that it just big conversation is happening because like a lot of this could be solved with some clarification.
Yeah.
Still don't like the lying. But yeah, like all the comments are saying, just like ask why. Ask why is going on. Like I could maybe understand if like the boyfriends have been a part of the friend group a little bit longer and maybe she's closer with them and like maybe when she needs to go out with her friends, but she's just saying it's a girls' night and she's lying about that.
Yeah.
If the boyfriend still doesn't feel welcome into the friend group, then that's another issue. So we need conversation here.
So first of all, thank you for all your comments. I couldn't reply to them all due to the thread being locked. I read through them all, and I did what I probably should have done directly when it first happened. I went and talked to her. To make a long story short, there were never any girls' nights out. These were always simple nights out with her friend group. These were always simple nights out with her friend group. So why wasn't I invited? because they all hate my guts due to her own fault. According to her, my girlfriend said back when we started dating, she'd always vent to them about me. All these small issues we fixed between her nights out and literally never talked about again was all her friend groups knew about me. Issue after issue, but never how we fixed it together as well. She realized that as well and stopped venting about me, but at that point, it was, according to her, too late. They'd always joke about me behind their backs. The feeling I had of being ostracized on the rare occasions where one of her friends would hang out at our place wasn't just a feeling after all. They do really hate me.
What?
Well, it's your
That's
girlfriend's fault.
So heartbreaking. What?
You need to get, hey, remember that thing we talked about I didn't like and I hated it?
Yeah.
We fixed it. We talked
fixed
it out. We fixed it. It's great.
Yeah. Sometimes you can deal with some of these problems on your own. I get talking to like your friends about problems, figure out where your head's at, but for some of like little things, you can probably handle that on your own.
True.
Yeah.
I simply wanted to know why she was okay with that and why she wouldn't stand up for our relationship. She said she wasn't okay with that, but what could she do? Her friends would have crap-talked her if she said anything. Not only that, but her friends have me as the butt of all their jokes. In their minds, I'm an incompetent, impotent buffoon. All these effing side eyes I got when I would talk to any of them wasn't just in my imagination. I talked to my girlfriend back then, and she'd always say, it's just in your head. To be honest, it made me mad that she was trying to be the victim in this situation, and I don't know why, but finding out that they despise me and my supposed-to-be girlfriend is tolerating it and wouldn't defend me made me really, really upset. If I'm being honest, at this point I kind of mentally checked out. And I already knew that I won't allow this disrespect and that this relationship is already through.
Good.
Yet there is so much I just don't understand. So I asked her simply, why? Why would you be okay with any of that, and why wouldn't you either stop being friends or literally demanding them to stop talking like that about us and about me? All she said was something like, you know how I am. I don't really like being the center of attention. I just keep quiet. Finally, I just asked her if anything would change going forward, and she said she could try talking to them individually, but she said it in such a timid way that I don't think for a second she actually meant it. By the way, you'll know forever that I mean it when I say you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this on Spotify and iHeartRadio and Apple Podcasts and wherever you listen to podcasts. All you have to do is search OK Storytime, and then you can listen to over 2,000 episodes. Wow.
That's a whole
It's
lot
a
of episodes.
Big number. We do have a little bit more story left. The number of pages we have left is a small number.
It seems like maybe one of those friend groups where there's like a clear hierarchy. It's like you can't always speak your mind because everyone maybe, I don't know, has like big reactions to things or something. So it's like if you say these little things, maybe they had a big reaction to the little things in the relationship. And now that they have that big reaction, you can't just be like, well, it's okay now. Because now they're just like, break up with him. He's a buffoon.
I just don't like the vibe of like, yes, I've caused this problem. No, I can't do anything to fix it.
Yeah.
Anyway, long story short, I broke up with her. It sucks. And I feel really bad about myself right now. I've always tried to be the best version of myself in this relationship. But knowing that there's a whole group of people out there who literally hate me, and the one person who's supposed to love and defend me no matter what didn't defend me, kind of sucks. Final comments from Can't Even Remember. So I gotta ask, what was her reaction to being broken up with? OP said, she cried and begged me not to, but as I said above, I asked her if anything at all would change. But even then, she wouldn't budge. I was 99% sure I was going to end that talk broken up with her, but after seeing her in action in the actual talk just solidified it so much more. She left for her best friend's apartment and hasn't messaged me yet, but to be honest, there isn't really anything she could say to change my mind by now. I loved and still do love her a lot, but I'm still trying to process her friends more or less bullying me indirectly and her literally just being okay with it. This isn't the kind of person I thought she'd be, nor the kind of person I want in my life. Overripe Cucumber says it isn't just her friends, though. She wasn't just okay with it as an observer. She said all those terrible things about you to them. She made them think all this garbage. She was the one bad-mouthing you and making you the butt of the joke. Only after she had laid down all that groundwork did she stop to think how things had become. And she lied to you many times and knowingly gaslit you.
Yeah.
You deserve so much better. I hope you're able to find someone who is more respectful of you in the future. Her character flaws finally revealed themselves, and she was not a great partner to you. I am sorry. And
Yeah.
I'm sorry that is the end of that story.
I ended a 10-year friendship because she made me feel unimportant.
Uh-oh, SpaghettiOs.
When I was in high school, I had a pretty tight-knit group of friends. We're all in our mid-20s now, and understandably, we have all grown apart and only see each other on the rare occasion. Like most friend groups, I had closer bonds with some more than others, and in my case, it was, let's call them, Andy and Abby. By the way, this comes from Deep Fried Writer, and if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OKStorytime subreddit. So, Andy and I are still relatively close, going out for drinks whenever we have time to catch up, sending each other major life updates just to keep each other in the loop. It's one of those low-maintenance friendships that you grow to appreciate so much as life goes on. However, Abby and I had different friendships growing up and even into our early 20s, as we lived right around the corner from each other and were just very alike in a sense. We'd have sleepovers on school nights, hang out every spare second we had, and even when we both got into our current long-term relationships, we had fun hanging out with the other person and their partner. I even got her a job at the pot shop I worked at until we both got laid off at the same time, LMAO. Anyways, Abby and I were besties for years, hanging out more so with each other than our friend group. As I previously mentioned, in our mid-20s, everyone got a bit busier and understandably a bit more distant, but we still had our Snapchat group chat and would go to Abby's house for summer swims when we were free. My birthday is in August, and as a devout homebody, it was a big deal for me to make big birthday plans as it was my 25th birthday, and I wanted nothing more than to get all the gals together. I was rallying people together to get a party bus and managed to get a decent-sized group so that the cost was affordable for everyone. Since the economy was in the crapper and has only gone down from there, I double-checked with everyone that they were all good to pitch the $50 to rent the party bus for the night. This was the absolute maximum a few people were willing to pay, which I completely understood. But if just one person dropped out, the fee would go up for everyone. Hence why my Virgo butt double-checked everyone was 100% all in. Honestly, you should have them all pay you.
Yeah.
Just say like, hey, can you Venmo me now?
Yeah, right?
You
Just
know,
be
once
upfront
everyone's
about
like in, I would say like, hey, if you're in, could you Venmo?
it. Yeah.
If you have to cancel,
Like,
unfortunately, like, you
sorry.
know, we can't. Yeah.
Yeah, but like if we want to do something, we kind of got to pay for it.
You gotta pay for it. Once I received all the information, I put in a $250 non-refundable deposit with the party bus company and let everyone know that my plans were a go. Not long after, I got a separate text from Abby saying that she could no longer come as she had a wedding in September she had to save up for. Now, normally I'm an overly understanding person, but I simply replied with a dry, "Are you serious?" for the following reasons. A, Abby was one of my longest, closest friends, and having her choose an acquaintance's wedding over coming to my birthday was hurtful. She can pay $50. Come on. B, I double checked with everyone that they were still able to go before placing the non-refundable deposit. To some people, $250 is not a lot to lose, but as a full-time student and part-time worker, this hurt my wallet. And she confirmed she was in. C, she obviously knew about this wedding well in advance and has plenty of time to save or notify me she was not able to come to my birthday. D, I now had to notify the rest of the group that the price for everyone was going to go up because she decided to back out, which resulted in the party bus being canceled altogether. She never responded to my admittedly passive-aggressive "Are you serious?" text, but I still sent her a super sweet follow-up text explaining that the plans changed to a little pre-drink in my sister's backyard and going to the club afterwards. However, I understood that money was tight for her and it would make my birthday if she was able to simply show up at the pre-drink. She never responded to that either. And when my birthday came up, not even a simple happy birthday text from my so-called best friend, Abby. It's safe to say my feelings were hurt because I feel as though I was more than forgiving and understanding, and she was giving me the cold shoulder. I waited for weeks for a text from her explaining why she didn't come to my birthday, or explaining why she hadn't reached out sooner, eager to get past this uncomfortable situation. When I didn't hear from her for a couple months, I unfollowed her on pretty much everything because I did not feel as though she valued our friendship anymore, and frankly was hurt seeing her post with our other friends or even reposting stuff to her stories when I felt like I was wronged, yet still put myself out there just to be ignored. Despite this, I never blocked her number because I was still holding out hope that she would text me and we could resume our decade-long friendship. A few more months passed without a word. Our group chat was mostly dominated by my friend Marie sending updates about her new baby, and the occasional gal sending a throwback photo of us in our hood rat days, or "I hope you are all well," and I rarely replied because I knew Abby was still hanging out with some of the girls and probably told them the story with her own skew on things. So it was, in my opinion, an elephant in the group chat that I did not want to acknowledge. One night, Andy and I were hanging out with some of our other friends, having a small pre-drink before going out, and Andy sent a casual snap of it to our group chat. This is when Abby decides to immaturely call me out, not privately, but in our group chat, asking, why did you block me on everything? I'm half in the bag at this point and simply wrote, because you didn't say happy birthday to me. Sad face. Wait, you...
Dang.
Oh man, you blocked her after she didn't say happy birthday to you? Even though it was way deeper than that. And I deleted her from my social media, but my texts were wide open all these many months. My other friend Connie, who moved to another province years ago, decided to pipe in, stating dryly, half this group chat didn't say happy birthday to me and I didn't block them. At that point, I got the sense that Abby and Connie were having a convo on the side, plotting this weird conversation that I wanted no part of. I then explained deeper about my feelings, mentioning that she could have messaged me privately at any point, and that I did not feel as though our group chat, while I was having a couple drinks, was the appropriate place to have this long-awaited conversation. We ended up texting, with her apologizing and saying she was hurt I removed her, with me apologizing and explaining my feelings. It felt like we came to an amicable agreement, both admitting our wrongs and getting to a good place, but our friendship never got back on track. We've texted here and there, mostly me saying happy birthday to her, and her sending me pictures of her engagement. Since so much time has gone by, I've really reflected on our friendship, realizing that she often made jokes about my insecurities and felt like she was always comparing herself to me, as we are so similar. Her calling me out in the group chat rather than having a private conversation was the final straw for me, as it felt super inappropriate and immature. I've kind of gotten used to not having her in my life, but of course I miss her and our friendship, and she still lives around the corner. I pass her house all the time and think of how unfortunate it is that this situation is the reason we don't talk anymore. It also sucks because I have missed out on group gatherings to avoid seeing her. I'm the type of person that can't hide my feelings, so I'd rather miss out than make others uncomfortable by my visible anxiety over the situation. I respond biannually in the group chat, and I've even missed out on Andy's most recent birthday dinner because Abby was there. Do I continue to avoid these situations at the expense of my other friendships, or really finally confront it? Am I the a-hole for deleting her or not making more of an effort to repair our friendship? Her wedding is also coming up next year, and while I miss her and truly want the best for her and her fiance, who I also really like as a person, I don't know how to navigate the conversation, or if I am or am not invited to their wedding. Any advice or perspective is appreciated, and I would appreciate if you guys listen to full episodes of stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or iHeartRadio and search up OK Storytime. There is a little bit left to this story. Do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I think definitely confront her. Just confront her.
Just confront her.
Because you
go to your friends' parties.
Yeah, because you don't.
Come on.
You already seem to not want to lose this friendship.
Yeah.
That you've had for so many years. So you can't, like, don't let yourself lose the other friendships just because you, like, were scared to fix this friendship. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to lose one. Well, if you keep going this way, you're gonna lose
them
the
all.
rest.
It's just frustrating. I think OP, I'm gonna tell you straight, you need to confront your fears. You need to face them.
Face your fears.
You need to face your fears. You need to communicate, do all of those things, because right now you're literally just sticking your head in the sand, and that's not working. Edit, she knew about this wedding months in advance and texted me she couldn't attend my birthday hours after confirming the cost and RSVPing yes. I responded dryly because I now had to tell 15 other people that the price was going up, which was non-negotiable to some 15. So I therefore had to cancel the party bus, lose $250 I could not afford, and send back money to people who already sent me their shares. I also have very bad social anxiety, so the situation of even setting up the party was a very big deal for me, thus having to sort out a whole new plan and inform others of the change of plans was very overwhelming. Maybe my initial response was curt, but I put aside my feelings and my pride, tried to see her side, invited her to the alternate plans, ensuring she would not have to put herself out financially, as her presence was the only gift I would have wanted. My last thoughts are, your current solution is talk to her. Talk to anyone.
Yeah.
My other solution, I'm going to do some math really quick. So it's about $850, and then maybe she wasn't.
Oh, yeah, because it's 50 each.
I'm assuming she was including the $250
I'm
split.
assuming, yeah.
So $850, and then specifically if the $250 is divided by 17, that's $14. You literally could have just paid $100 instead of spending $250 to cancel it.
Yeah.
That's my thing.
That one.
Why didn't we do that?
That's on you, OP.
Maybe
Sorry,
I'm
girl.
misunderstanding the situation, but why didn't we do that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't. Or,
yeah, if you couldn't afford the $250, like, then
don't cancel
save $150.
Yeah.
And just pay the $100. Sorry that it's uncomfortable.
You don't have to be friends with her.
Control.
You don't have to be besties with her, but like, get to a point where you can go to a party without avoiding her.
Yeah. You don't want to.
Adults.
You want to be an adult and be able to go to parties when someone you don't like so much is there.
Yeah. I've been to so many parties with people I don't like.
Yep.
Just avoid them. You don't have to talk to them.
You just don't.
But that's the end of that story. So we're going to get into the next one.
My friend didn't want me as her bridesmaid. I refused to go to her wedding.
Stand on business.
I realized the title sounds needy, but hear me out. Names changed for anonymity. In 2022, we moved and made friends with a couple, Melanie and Adam. In 2023, we were invited to go to Mexico with them and some friends, but we unfortunately couldn't make it as I was sick. Adam was going to propose to Melanie, and 10 minutes prior, he got cold feet and told her his plan and said he can't do it.
Wait, he told her?
He told her I
Why
was
did you-
gonna propose.
Why
but
did you
I
tell
can't.
her?
No.
You didn't have to tell her.
For the next year, they were on and off, going to therapy, etc. During this time, I supported Melanie and was the only one who didn't tell her to leave him and not work on it, as told to me by her. By the way, this comes from u/hot consideration 3451. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So this took a lot of emotional support and time, which I have no issue giving a friend, but it is worth noting. Also, during this time, she would always say, if we ever got married, you'll be a bridesmaid. Well, they got back together, Adam proposed, and they are getting married. Time passed, and I saw other people get asked to be a bridesmaid, but I never did. When I asked her about it, she said that she was limited as she was paying for everything for her bridal party and there wasn't room in the rehearsal dinner for any more people. While I was disappointed, I told her I understood and had no hard feelings. She said she still wants me to come to the bachelorette, and we talked about different ideas and cities her and the maid of honor were thinking. I think you're going to plan it all and not go.
Yep.
While hanging out, Adam had also mentioned the bachelor party to my husband and even asked his thoughts on a few different cities. They also asked my husband to officiate their wedding, but he is scared of public speaking, and their other option is Melanie's best friend who does public speaking for a living. We learned yesterday that we are not invited to the bachelor and bachelorette party.
There it is.
Shocker. While I went to the restroom, my husband asked point blank. Melanie said it was just going to be a tight-knit group of girls. However, I know one bridesmaid hates the maid of honor, and Adam apologized for having talked to my husband about it multiple times. Now their wedding is at an expensive resort in Winter Park, Colorado. Rooms there are expensive even with the discount, plus dog sitters for our 2 dogs and flights. We also have a baby who would be 1 year when we go and would have to leave him with family. If they had never told us we were a part of the wedding, asked to officiate our wedding, or invited to events, we would not be upset. However, it feels extremely disrespectful and our feelings are hurt. So would we be a-holes if we cancel our room and don't attend?
You should tell them that you're going to attend.
And
No,
then
I'm kidding.
don't go.
Don't stoop to their level.
No.
Don't stoop to their level. But don't attend. Yeah. They lied to you twice. Absolutely not. You don't owe them anything.
Yeah, you got a lot going on. You don't need to.
Yeah, just say, like, you don't even have to, like, say, like, oh, we don't, like, you guys wronged us, so we're not coming. You could just be like, we've got a 1-year-old.
100%. We have a 1-year-old. We have dogs. It's in Colorado. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we can't make it. Sorry. Best wishes.
We have some top comments. Commenter 1, F. You obviously won't enjoy it, and they don't appear to like you very much, so nobody will benefit from your going. Commenter 2, RSVP, no, and when asked, we're limiting our spending on just our tight-knit group of friends.
Yeah.
Commenter 3, up until the end there, I wouldn't have had not the a-hole, but now I do. Oh, so that's...
Well, I think they were saying, like, oh, just canceling, not going to the wedding because you're not in the bachelor party.
Okay, yeah.
But then they were like, oh, I read the story.
It wouldn't be a small thing for you to go to her wedding. It would be a huge commitment financially and time-wise. Destination weddings are for close friends and family. I feel like they pushed you out of that category for some reason, whether intentionally or unintentionally. Commenter 4, no. Just say sorry, but we are no longer able to attend. No explanation needed or necessary. She didn't tell you why you weren't asked to be a bridesmaid or why your husband wasn't asked to attend the bachelor party. You had to ask for an explanation. You owe them nothing. But don't be surprised if this comes between your friendship. Honestly, they don't sound like very good friends. more like it's all one-sided as you and your husband give and they take. This is my take from what I'm reading here, and we do have an update. Any thoughts?
I agree with all of those things. I don't know, anyone who invites you to something and then, doesn't actually follow through on that, not cool.
No, plan some of
How'd
it
you
even?
plan some of it? Not cool.
So to clarify one thing and update everyone, just to clarify, when they asked my husband to officiate, they openly told him there was another candidate and who she was. He was the groom's choice and she was the bride's choice. It was the bride's childhood friend who is a professional public speaker. Meanwhile, we've known them for only a couple of years and 90% of it, they were on and off. Okay, now for the update. The next day, Adam texted my husband saying, this is summarized, "Thanks for calling me out on the bachelor party. Whiplash definitely dropped the ball on communicating." Then asked to hang out in the next couple of weeks.
No.
My husband responded saying, "Water under the bridge. You mentioned it to me a couple times and asked where should it be, who can it be, is why it was it was also odd because you asked me to officiate, which is higher than bachelor party, but not invited to that. Yet Melanie's friend who is officiating is. Also, OP is legitimately hurt." Adam replied, "I can see how you would get that with the officiating, but I see that separate from the bachelor party. I'll reach out to the other guys and clarify with them about the party." Husband responded, "Generally a good rule of thumb to not openly and unsolicitedly talk about a bachelor party to people not invited."
Yeah,
Agreed.
very true.
Now, after this, Melanie texted me, "Hey, your husband said you were upset about the bachelorette stuff, and I just wanted to talk it through. I did say I would love for you to come on the batch if we decided to expand it to others out of the bridal party, which I originally had every intention of doing, and I stand by that. I told a couple of my other friends the same thing."
Stop.
Stop doing that.
Why? Why did you do that?
Why, like, overly ambitious with
Yeah.
our...
Also, not even what she said.
Yeah. We did a PowerPoint night to pick where to go for the batch. Everyone chose a location and mocked up a pitch. The winner wasn't my first pick. Why wasn't it the bride's first pick?
It's your thing.
But I cared more about it being a shared experience where people had to say where we were going because they're committing to spend a lot of money. I thought they were spending all the money. I thought they were paying for everything. While researching Airbnbs and activities, it became clear that it wasn't a place to host big groups. The bridal party, including me, is 7 people. So while yes, I originally hoped that I would be able to include other friends and celebrate with you, it just wasn't looking like that was feasible with the location we chose. I was wrong for not updating you or anyone else I had mentioned I'd love to have there after I found that out, and that's on me. So I truly apologize for not being more transparent, but it wasn't for lack of not wanting you there. I replied a day later, "Hey, I've been sitting with this for a while because I didn't want to come off angry. I'm just feeling confused and hurt as this has seemed to be a pattern. First, it was the multiple occasions since 2023. You told me I would be a bridesmaid if you guys ever got back together, specifically mentioning a girls' night with me, maid of honor and bridesmaids, saying that it would have been bridesmaids. Then at the restaurant when we hung out, I had to ask about it, and when you told me I was not, it was followed up by, I know you're not a bridesmaid, but you'll definitely be going to the bachelorette. Like you said, that's more fun and important anyway. You proceed to list potential plans and cities, and I was excited to celebrate with you. At the next girls' night, you again reiterated my attendance and the different places that were nicked. Again, I was excited. I then heard nothing and learned on Instagram I wasn't invited when the officiant posted the countdown on her story, and both you and maid of honor reshared it. I thought maybe you hadn't invited me yet because we had been busy with baby and dog, had emergency surgery, but as time went on, I realized what was happening. It is your wedding, and obviously you can do whatever you want. You don't owe me or anyone an invite to anything. If these things hadn't been mentioned multiple times, I wouldn't expect it, be upset, or anything. The goalpost just keeps moving, and it's hurtful to be told all these things, get my hopes up, and then they don't happen, and I don't even get the D of a conversation. I'm not trying to make you feel bad. I just need to be honest about how all of this has felt from my side. By the way, you can listen to full episodes with stories just like this. Just go to Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or your favorite podcast app and search OK Storytime. There's another update, but let's discuss.
Yeah, I don't think you owe these people anything. They've handled this whole situation very poorly, and they don't feel bad about it.
No, get out while you can.
Yeah. Those are all my thoughts. I
Those are
really
all
don't think
my
you
thoughts.
owe them anything.
No, and I think they're in the wrong for bringing it up so many times.
So many times.
many
And then being like,
times.
oh, well, no, actually, it was only if we could bring that many people. And that's why we brought it up, just in case. It's
Right.
like, no.
You don't do that. No. And
It's like if I was like, hey, I'm going on a cruise. You should come to
Yeah.
the cruise. But there's a chance that I might not invite you.
I'll tell you, like,
I'm going to tell you
Right
right
near
before
the
the
cruise.
cruise. Yeah.
that was sent on May 20th, and I haven't heard back. We only got the save the date and booked the room they have reserved for friends and family, which canceled. Thank you for all your support. Honestly, I have felt so bad about this, and knew Reddit wouldn't hold back if I was the a-hole. Commenter 1, not the a-hole. This girl does not want to be your friend. She treats you terribly. You deserve to be treated so much better than how she treats you. Commenter 2, honestly, I understand venting your frustrations to her. You're honest about your hurt, but she probably doesn't care. Sometimes it's good to just not give others more of our energy. I wish you the best of luck on you and Adam's journey together, but this friendship has begun to feel very one-sided, and I think I'm going to take a step back. Commenter 3, the bride is not your friend. Her husband and your husband might be friends, but she is not your friend. Honestly, stop investing any time or energy in this couple. Don't hang out with them. Don't go to the wedding. Certainly don't go to the shower. It doesn't sound like your husband is invited to the bachelor party either. He is officiating but not attending the party, which I don't think.
No, he's not.
I'm sorry, but that is just really weird. If someone is close enough to be asked to officiate, they are certainly close enough to attend the bachelor party. Let's be real. These people like to hang out with you guys sometimes, but they do not view you as friends. More like acquaintances. Don't invest any more time in them. Think about whether or not you actually want to go to their wedding and spend the time and money doing that, purchasing a gift, etc. if they couldn't even be bothered to be upfront, honest, and treat you like a friend. And OP, I suspect you dodged a bullet by not being asked to be a bridesmaid. She sounds insufferable, which I agree. And I wonder if the husbands are friends.
Weird relationship. They're like, oh, it's fine, dude. Water under the bridge.
True. And because the husband did want him to officiate
Yeah.
and only got overruled because of the wife. Because
Well,
the wife
also
had
because
a
I
choice
think-
and he had a choice. And
Yeah,
yes,
it's
because he
public
didn't want
speaking.
to.
Yeah.
But still.
Yeah.
Commenter 4, you both just need to step away from these people. Your husband should just decline any part in the wedding and then decline attending as a guest.
Yeah.
Then block them and find actual friends.
Yep.
That's the end of that.
That's the end of that, folks.
My friend demands I wear body paint for her wedding because my skin disgusts them.
Well, your friend disgusts me.
My friend has just gotten engaged and has asked me to be her maid of honor. I am beyond thrilled for her and beyond touched that she has asked me, but it's on the condition that I wear body makeup over my psoriasis. I can't do that because not only is it impractical, any makeup that will actually cover it will exacerbate the condition and make life miserable for me. By the way, this comes from a whole bag of cheese. And if you want to submit your own stories, go to the r/OK Storytime subreddit. So, to be clear, I have it well controlled. I'm not flaky. The skin is simply very red. It covers 80% of one forearm, 20% on the other, both elbows, and I have large patches on my calves, knees, and 90% of the top of one foot. I use gentle manual exfoliation and a moisturizer that helps control the dry and excess skin. I apply the moisturizer a couple of times a day and wouldn't be able to do this while wearing makeup. I let her know that I wouldn't be able to do that, explained why, and even though she knows that I have to be careful with all the products that I use, and she's quite unhappy with me. She wants beautiful photographs that make everyone feel beautiful and confident, which really upset me.
Yeah, and telling your friend that she needs to wear makeup to look beautiful and confident, you're
Yeah.
not really doing a good job in making her feel beautiful and or confident.
Exactly. I am content and confident in my skin, and I know it's there and people stare sometimes, but what can I do about that? Most people think that I have some kind of gnarly motorbike accident or something, TBH. I'm at a point in my life where I honestly don't care and often forget that it's unusual to see. I know the reason is because she doesn't want to see it in her photos, and I said as much to her and she was offended. I suggested that I wear something with long sleeves and a skirt, but she already has her heart set on midi-length strapless dresses, and a shawl covering it won't go. It got to the point where she was getting heated because I won't do it and told me that I either wore the body makeup or don't bother even coming. I ended up telling her that either she has me as is or not at all and left. She is now not speaking to me, but has told her fiancé that I accepted the role. Some of OP's comments. Commenter says, info, why are you friends with this person? OP says, I've known her forever. and we have had a really great relationship usually, and this hasn't ever been a problem before. When we have had little disagreements, we've both been really understanding about it, and those have been few and far between. I really don't understand this. It's so out of character for her. To another commenter, because she's usually a really kind and caring, empathetic person, genuinely too, we've been through a lot together and have supported each other through some really messed up times. She's good fun, funny without making fun of people. She's just a good egg. Any disagreements or issues we've had have always been talked through with care and consideration on both sides, and it's never felt unbalanced. This is truly really out of character for her. Another commenter says, not the a-hole. Psoriasis can be so painful and debilitating during a flare-up, and I'm assuming that since you were asked to be the maid of honor, she has known you and about your psoriasis and the psoriasis control routine. You shouldn't have to sacrifice your skin's health for days or weeks after the wedding just to be there. You have given her alternate options to help conceal your reddened skin for photos, and she's not even considering them or your feelings or health. Opie says, that's exactly it. It's taken so long to find a good combination of things that work and keep it stable, and she's seen me at my absolute worst with it and never said or done anything other than be supportive about it. I really don't want to miss her wedding, but I can't physically or mentally deal with how bad it's been before. Commenter says, you're definitely not the a-hole. As someone who also suffers from psoriasis, I'd like to suggest seeing a medical professional because manual exfoliation and applying moisturizer multiple times a day, which I know from personal experience is helpful. I also know from personal experience that there are so many prescription topicals or not topicals that treat psoriasis far better. A small amount of topical steroid, acetonide. It is a topical steroid that applied a few times a week keeps my psoriasis in check. It really doesn't sound like yours is well managed. But for this particular issue, I'd stick with, I can't commit to wearing makeup to cover up my skin, so if my skin is enough of a problem for you to exclude me from your wedding party, then so be it. OP says, thank you for your concern. A few comments have made me realize that I probably need a new dermatologist and a new approach. I have tried a few different steroid-based creams and ointments, but after time, my skin would become quite thin and it would stay pink even still. I couldn't play rough with my dog because she'd break the skin even playing gently, and I'm also really clumsy and would knock my elbows on doors and walls and the skin would split. I have just been resigned to the redness and my current routine has been working. My current dermatologist basically said that my condition isn't serious enough for some meds and that others I can't use due to liver issues. OP is just essentially voted not the a-hole. And we have an update, but do we agree with the commenters?
Obviously not the a-hole.
Yeah.
I think that if your friend is more concerned about optics over your health,
Yeah.
regardless of like if that's, internal or external health,
Yeah.
then she's not really your friend.
Yeah.
I just think in general, you cannot tell someone to wear, unless you're in a play or in a film, you can't tell someone
Right.
that they need to wear makeup.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Just ever, even if this woman didn't have psoriasis.
Yeah.
I think it's,
Yeah, it's so silly. It's like, I keep thinking, a solution to covering it up would probably be like pantyhose or like tights or sleeves or something like that. But again, I agree with you. It's like, you shouldn't even need to cover it up. Like if
this is you, this is what you look like.
yeah, if you're a real friend, then you would be supporting your friend through this and empowering them. But this is clearly the opposite.
It's like if someone has like a lot of acne and you're like, oh, you have to actually cover all of that up. It's
Yeah,
like, that's
like-
that is their skin.
can you just like do this to be more beautiful for my
Yeah.
things? It's like, huh? You don't think I'm beautiful?
Yeah.
I know I am. So that's your problem. We do have an update. So firstly, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who commented. I honestly thought the majority would tell me to suck it up. It's just a few hours for one day. And was surprised by all the supportive comments, compromise suggestions, and encouragement to seek further treatment for the sake of my health, not my appearance. I'm definitely going to take my psoriasis more seriously due to some of you, so thank you. Also, sorry to the mods, they had to lock comments because too many people were being rude. I also want to mention all the Photoshop and editing comments. I feel stupid for not even considering it in the moment. It's such a simple and obvious solution. I was so shocked and taken aback by my friend's reaction and insistence, and it didn't even cross my mind. I spent the night bawling my eyes out because a lot of the comments made me feel like I wasted nearly 30 years of friendship with this person. Doubt a lot of it. I love her still and was still so confused.
There's no such thing as wasting years on friendship.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just sometimes you grow out of a friendship.
Yeah.
Or they grow out of you,
Yeah, absolutely. I was going to call my friend tonight to discuss this again. I was truly touched that she asked me to be maid of honor. She has such a close relationship with her sister that I never thought even once she would ask me. I didn't end up calling my friend, as her fiance called me to thank me for accepting the role, to tell me secretly that his family wanted to pay for the bridal shower, hens night, and anything else that we wanted to do or go, as he knows the people that the friend wanted as other bridesmaids weren't in a position to be able to contribute, and that he and his family would reimburse me any costs for body makeup, which did flag as odd to me. I told him that I hadn't accepted the role and that the friend had told me earlier that I wear the makeup or don't come at all. And fiance was shocked and confused. I explained to him that even mild inflammation would cause days and weeks of irritation at best, or months of pain and cracked skin and possible infections at worst. He had no idea and was completely oblivious and very confused. He's only really known me while my condition has been pretty decently controlled, and I tend to play it off as not so serious to people because I just don't want to talk about it. We finished our phone call, and after a couple of hours, my friend calls me back. I can tell that she's been crying and was quite upset. She apologized profusely, and it turns out that her future mother and sister-in-law had been picking away at her, making her feel awful about herself and how she needs to be perfect, presentable, and beautiful on the day, that nothing can distract from her. They both had convinced her that she is especially kind in not worrying or caring about how I looked, but that everyone else is just lying to me and her about not caring. It's been going on for months, even before they knew of the engagement. Little digs about me trying to turn my friend against me. Oh gosh. Both mother-in-law and sister-in-law are apparently disgusted by my psoriasis to the point that it makes them physically ill, and that her entire wedding day will revolve around how I look and will make everyone miserable. Holy crap. These are terrible people.
Suck.
Wow.
Yikes.
That it's all anyone would speak about, and if I came, no guest would be able to eat or enjoy themselves.
She's not Frankenstein's monster.
Yeah.
She's a person with red skin.
Yeah, a lot of people are going to be more understanding about something that she can't control.
Yeah,
Like,
come
come
on.
on. That I was selfish for even considering going without hiding it. They didn't want me there at all and were threatening my friend with not allowing the wedding at all. It was never about the photographs. It was about my condition being visible in general. And you know what you should do in general is go to Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, whatever your favorite podcast app is, and search OK Storytime, because you're going to find more full episodes of stories just like this one. Get on over there. Get on over there. And there's a little bit more to the story, but oh my gosh, do these women stink.
Yeah, truly.
Faith Reacts says
Truly.
that's just BS. I have a skin condition called eczema and it sucks. Water and soap dries out my skin, and I used to have claw marks on my arms because it itched too much. Oh, that sucks, dude.
Not fun.
And that's the kind of thing too where it's like it just doesn't go away. Like you can
No.
treat it, but it's never gonna just heal completely. So yeah, it absolutely sucks. I think most people would be a lot more understanding of it.
You would think,
And
yeah.
these people just must have very unhappy and insecure lives themselves.
Absolutely. So, like, self-absorbed and,
Yeah. Shallow.
shallow is the
Yeah.
word I was looking for, yes.
And there is a little bit more to the story, so let's jump right in. I didn't really know what to say or do. It was a lot to process, and I do truly believe my friend is sorry. Like I said, this was so out of character for her. My friend's fiance got on the phone once she'd finished explaining. He is going to speak to his family. He apparently had no idea that this was happening and is pissed for my friend and on my behalf. I don't know what's happening with the wedding or wedding party, but my friend has said that she can't imagine her day without me there and that she feels awful that she allowed them to manipulate her that way. I don't know how I feel yet. I have emotional whiplash. I'm hurt and confused that my friend let them convince her to go through with this, but I do think and hope that we can get through this. OP adds a comment on her reposted story to a different subreddit. Oh, hey, that's me. I just edited an update into the original post. Still hurt by my friend's choices, but ultimately understand where she's coming from and believe her apology wholeheartedly. The positive to come out of this situation is that I'm going to take my psoriasis a lot more seriously and will be finding a rheumatologist and a new dermatologist since mine apparently sucks real bad. And that's the end of that story. I believe that friendship could be
I think it could, if she's
fixed.
truly serious, and like
Yeah.
genuinely apologizes and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that it can work. It's
Yeah.
good that she realized, it's good that she's apologizing, and hopefully they can figure it out. And hopefully they have
Yeah.
a beautiful, beautiful wedding with this beautiful, beautiful bridesmaid.